Dodgers up 2-0. And the batter is Tommy Edman. That ball is crushed in the air to left field. Did he get under it, or did he get enough? He got enough! And it's Tommy Tanks with the first home run in Tokyo. Yeah, the first home run of the 25 campaign comes from 25. Well, that was a big-time swing for 2 strikes. Tommy Edman looking like a cleanup man up there.
That one stroked deep to left center field. That's way back there. Head of the wall. It is gone. Christian Campbell with his first major league home run. Absolutely destroys that one into the bullpen to tie the game 2-2.
1-0, gets one right down the middle. But this one here, he tries to get the ball in the air, and he drives that this kid is strong. Kev, we talked about the hips, and keeping the hands back. He creates some torque. That thing got out quick.
You know, in Boston, every now and then, you'll do those throwback days where you bring out the big baggy jerseys, and the baggier, the better. When I broke into the league, everybody was wearing really baggy pants, and then as the years go along, I started wearing these skinny mini.
Garrett Crochet in his 3rd Red Sox start. He got his first Sox win. His last time utterly dominant, snapping a losing streak in Baltimore, and he makes his first Fenway start tonight. In some ways, Lenny, it's a shame that Garrett will not pitch for the first time in this ballpark in front of a packed house, because you know this fan base is so ready to embrace him.
Yeah, and you can tell by if you look at social media when they signed him, first of all, and then second when they extended him. This is what Red Sox fandom needed. They needed the #1 starter, and he's the prototypical guy that you want to hand the ball to when you need a win. He's got extremely deep in the last game. 8 innings, 8 Ks, went right after the hitters, and hopefully we see a lot more of that this season.
He told us that was the first time he'd pitched 8 innings since he was in college at Tennessee, and it had been a long time, and not even close to 8 innings since then. Meantime, for Alex Cora's Red Sox, they too come in at 6-5, and they will lead it off, as always, with Jarren Duran. He'll be in left field. Then Rafi, the DH, he bats second. Rafi drove in the Red Sox first run last night. He bats second behind Duran, and then Alex Bregman, the third baseman, he bats third. Rob Refsnyder in right field cleans up. I mean, it's been so hard for Alex to get those right-handed hitting specialists in there, but finally they see a starter in Easton Lucas, and so Refsnyder and Romy get some starts. So too Trevor Story, who bats fifth behind Refsnyder. He, of course, will be the shortstop. Christian Campbell, after the night off last night, he's at second base batting sixth. Romy Gonzalez is the first baseman. He bats seventh. Carlos Narvaez, the everyday catcher now, he bats eighth. And then Cedon Rafaela is in center field, and he bats ninth. Tristan Casas has the night off, but that doesn't mean he won't do his normal stretching and running routine out on the field. The Red Sox right-handed heavy against Lucas. And Lenny, this is a miserable night to play baseball. You worry about injury just as we did last night, but in a lot of ways, this is a throwback to a season ago. You finally get a lefty, and you get Refsnyder and Story and Romy in there together trying to drive home runs with Bregman.
It's nice to be able to get these guys at-bats, but it's not necessarily a bad thing that they're not getting that many at-bats, because you're seeing guys get in there day in and day out. This means they're staying healthy. This means they're scoring runs. That's what you need. Get them their spots against certain guys to get guys off their feet, but also keep them warm and ready to go, so when they're called upon, they can be ready to go as well.
It's such a good point, and it's a hard role to fill for Refsnyder and Romy, because you would like to think that you get more at-bats, you stay warm, but both of them are such specialists that it is a good sign for the depth of the roster that they do not play every day. Here now for the first time at Fenway Park comes Garrett Crochet. The Speed Report is brought to you by Verizon. Get to your local Verizon store today to check out the latest deals. What do you remember about your first ever start at Fenway Park?
Well, my first outing, I remember that more than my first start. My first outing was in Yankee Stadium, old Yankee Stadium, 2004. I know the date, April 23rd, and I faced Gary Sheffield, Matsui, and Bernie Williams,
wow.
Of all people.
Welcome.
Ground out, strikeout, ground out. I was unscathed. Mark Bellhorn made two great grabs at third base to throw the ball to Dave McCarty. May he rest in peace. They really helped me out, and I'll never forget that.
So here's Crochet. He's long talked about wanting to be in Boston. He signed the long extension, and for the first time again, he will have so many special nights in this ballpark in front of a packed house. But even in front of a small, really small, crowd here tonight, he's got to be feeling it at home.
He's probably used to that aspect. I mean, he's
That's
pitching for the White Sox the past couple seasons. It's going to be a little less familiar when it's full packed capacity, when you can actually feel the Fenway Park bouncing up and down with that playoff atmosphere. Hopefully he likes that more than pitching in front of a few fans sprinkled in.
He was just fabulous in his last start. 8 innings for Crochet, shutout baseball, 4 hits with 8 strikeouts. What do you do as a pitcher on the mound on a night like tonight where you do kind of have to generate your own energy and adrenaline?
You got to keep moving. And he's got his sleeves on right now. And today you're not allowed, we're never allowed to use substances. But back in the day, I'm told that certain pitchers use substances to just get a little better grip on the ball. And the hitters were totally fine with it, because if you're Crochet throwing 98 miles an hour, if you're a hitter, the last thing you want is to feel like a brim coming out of his hand going into the water. You want him to have a little bit of control, and that's all it did.
Well, I think it's something to watch tonight, the velocity, the command, because it is just impossible to feel anything. And here is Garrett Crochet for the first time on the mound. His first pitch at home is a fastball high to George Springer, 94 miles an hour. I was reminded before the ball game by Dan Shaughnessy of a Chris Sale start here on a similar night where Sale decided to totally dial it back. The 1-0 is swung on and fouled on a play by Springer at a big night, rather Bichette. And it's 1-1. Chris almost intentionally threw 88 miles an hour. And we'll see what Crochet does here tonight. The 1-1 is drilled high and deep down the left field line. Real trouble. It is back and high off the wall. Inside the foul pole, Duran plays the carom, throws to second. What a play that is to hold Bichette to a leadoff single.
That's a great job playing that ball off the wall, getting to it and getting it in. That's a typical Fenway single right there. A lot of other ballparks, that would absolutely be a double rounding second base.
If not a homer. I mean, Bichette just adores this ballpark. So the table's set now, leadoff man aboard, and here comes Vlad Guerrero Jr. Amazing how well Bo hits here. So does this man, Vladdy. He takes a fastball for strike 1.
Crochet, he's going to use that fastball a lot. His last outing, he used it just a little bit more than his cutter. The first outing, he used a ton of cutters.
That's a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. How do you do? And it's 0-2.
Must be nice. I always say the only time I threw 97 was when the gun was on the kilometer setting.
Even in this cold, his 5th pitch is 97. The 0-2 just inside. That one 96 miles an hour, and it's 1-2. Vlad Guerrero Jr., one of the great sluggers in the game. Leadoff man aboard in Bo Bichette. Guerrero breaks his bat on a soft ground ball towards second. Campbell's only play is to glove and throw to first quickly, just in time. Guerrero moving pretty well down the line. Romy Gonzalez and Christian both have the masks on. In fact, all 4 on the infield do, and I don't blame them. Nice play by Campbell, and there's 1 away.
That's a tough play. Not only because it's a slow roller right there, you've got the base runner running right in front of the ball before you glove it, and he's gunning down the line. So as soon as that gets in the glove, you got to get rid of it.
Very nice job. Campbell's been so impressive at second base. And here now, Anthony Santander, the switch hitter, will bat right against Crochet. 1 on, 1 out. The pitch is popped foul on the first base side. And out of play against Crochet. Santander 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. That's a kind of a common theme. The Blue Jays as a team 1 for 17 against Garrett. Wearing number 35 on the back of his home white jersey. 0-1 with 1 down. The pitch is swung on and missed. How's 97 again, and it's 0-2.
This is what you want to see. He's going right after batters. The most important pitch in baseball is strike 1. Getting that strike 1 allows you to go about getting outs in so many different ways.
You've got the window closed in the booth. There are some hardy and brave fans here in the elements at Fenway. 0-2, swing and a miss. He got him with a cut fastball, and they're 2 away.
That's such a good pitch because it comes right out of that same tunnel. The 4-seam fastball rides that rail, stays right where it should, and then that one just has a little bit of glove side depth to it.
Yeah, for the left-hander Crochet into the right-handed hitter Santander there, and now here's another righty in George Springer. Crochet working from the third base side of the rubber, the big, strong lefty. Sets, he throws, and Springer had a big night at the plate. takes inside for ball one.
You talk about using the right side of the rubber to his advantage. A lot of cutter guys do that. I was the same way because you want that ball to be in the zone and out of it just as soon as it gets there. If you show too much in the zone, they're going to see it.
1 ball, no strikes. The pitch to Springer is inside. So for a left-handed pitcher like Crochet, he sets up on the third base side of the rubber, which is the closest possible place to a righty. You're saying then it can start over kind of the inside half of the plate and then come off?
You just want it to look like a good pitch to hit, and then it's too far in for them to do damage.
2-0 to Springer. The pitch is swung on and missed. Great cutter again, and it's 2-1.
If you're on the left-hand side towards the right-hand side towards first base, then that ball stays over the center of the plate longer. It's in the batting zone longer, and they tend to get the barrel on it more often.
Seems like they'd get a longer look at it, too. 2-1 from Crochet to Springer. The pitch is a little bit low. Fastball at 97. And it is 3-1. Springer 4 for 4. He drove in 3 runs last night. He's off to a hot start. 455 with a homer and 8 driven in. A lot of masked men on the field for the Red Sox. The 3-1 is ball 4. A fastball missed high. And so he didn't look that interested in challenging Springer, Crochet. So 2 on with 2 out for Ernie Clement. Romy Gonzalez is at first base. Christian Campbell at second. Trevor Story at short with Alex Bregman at third. Rafaela in center. Ref Snyder in right. And Jarren Duran, the Red Sox left fielder.
2 outs. Runner on second, which means you have a base open. Would you rather be Springer, who's extremely hot, or the guy hitting 105 right after him?
Well, Crochet just made that choice. Here's a first pitch cutter on the outside corner, strike 1. I mean, that shows you something. I mean, Crochet's not a real long-tenured veteran. He's not made a lot of starts, but a lot of times he pitches just like one. 0-1, the pitch is a little bit high with a fastball, 96, and it's 1-1.
And game planning is extremely important. You know certain guys that are hot. You know when the right time to go after them, and when to be a little bit careful. And that was the right instance to just be careful with Springer.
105 to start the season for Ernie Clement. The pitch is swung on and missed. He chased a high fastball. And Crochet is a strike away from ending this top of the first. Ernie Clement burst onto the scene a little bit with the Blue Jays. Had a very hot spring training. He was a finalist for the Gold Glove at third base a year ago. Did not hit a whole lot, and he started off cold. 1-2. Here's the pitch. It is driven into left field. That's a base hit. Duran plays it on one hop. They will hold. Bichette at third, and they could have a play at second. Narvaez throws behind Springer, but he beat the play with a tag. Well, Duran, had he hit the cutoff man Bregman there, they could have easily had George Springer in a rundown. He assumed the runner was going to come home. He was on an island between second and third, and that's a mistake for the Red Sox. They could have thrown themselves out of the inning. Instead, the bases are loaded with 2 down.
That's why it's always important to hit your cutoff man. And also, Narvaez threw that ball to second base on the run right there. He had time to set his feet, make a firm throw to the chest. Instead, it looked like he threw a 2-seamer with a lot of arm side fade to it. Wasn't a lot on it.
Here's Davis Schneider in a huge spot. He hit a homer in his first Fenway at bat. Here, a chance with the bases loaded. He takes a fastball away for ball 1. Crochet will really be upset with himself about that pitch to Clement.
That ball was supposed to be up and away, missed a spot right over the middle.
Now 1-0 to Schneider, and this is a little bit high. So Narvaez is going to go to the mound and talk things over. This has a chance of getting out of hand here.
When you're a guy like Crochet, mainly four-seam fastballs and cutters, you're typically throwing glove side inside to a righty. So it's very important to show a way every now and then, whether it's with a 2-seamer or a changeup or even a 4-seamer off the plate, just to keep them from getting that barrel and cheating inside. You know, you show a way to be effective inside, you show in to be effective away.
What a key juncture this is right here for Crochet. Bases loaded, 2 down. No score for now in the top of the first. The 2-0 pitch is high, not close. With a cutter, it's 3-0. You figure Schneider will be in take mode here. Another ball would walk in a run. Crochet takes a deep breath. Quickly into the wind. The pitch is in there. A strike, 95 miles an hour. 3-1. Crochet does not waste any time on the mound.
Which is good. Which these days, you know, some people need the clock, some people don't. He definitely doesn't.
Here's the 3-1, and that is swung on and missed. A fastball at 95, and it's 3-2. interesting. He's able to sort of finesse those fastballs in there for strikes at 95.
Gone are the days of Steve Traxel.
Here's the 3-2. Runners go. Inside corner. Strike 3 called. I think Crochet might have gotten a really good break on that call. As it is, Schneider's rung up, and Crochet leaves the bases.
Celebra tú también con Betcris.
All right, so here's the Mets home jersey. To me, growing up in New York, also a very iconic jersey. The blue pinstripes that represented the Dodgers. Got the orange outline, which represented the Giants, which are the two teams that left New York. And then subsequently, the Mets were created. You know, my parents were Mets fans growing up, and this was the jersey that I also dreamed of wearing.
2-1. In the dirt, gets away, here comes Hill, he's gonna score, 3 wins, 3 walk-offs to start the season.
Kyle, you can't make this stuff up.
What a way to begin the season for the Marlins.
The first place Marlins.
And all the Pirates can do is tuck their tails and get out of town. What a start for this bunch led by Clayton McCullough. They don't care how they're gonna win. They'll
be purchased. The 99 Restaurant, the official family restaurant of the Boston Red Sox.
Ask your smart speaker to play 93.7 WEEI. Now, back to Red Sox baseball on WEEI.
Jarren Duran is leading it off in the bottom of the first, and I think a really cool moment. I mean, it's not a big crowd at all, but he was just greeted with a big-time ovation as we go to the bottom of the first. Duran, Devers, and Bregman against Easton Lucas. Left-handed starter making his second ever Major League start. The pitch to Duran is fouled off on the third base side. Duran is everywhere in the news these days. The Netflix show The Clubhouse dropped today. We'll have Greg Whiteley, the man who directed that wonderful series, on with us in the third inning. And Duran, the headliner. Here's the 0-1, and he takes inside a fastball, and it's 1-1. He was very open about his struggles with mental health, and I think it's very cool that Red Sox fans embrace him the way they just did.
Absolutely. You look at the Samaritans, the number you can text or call to talk.
1-1 is fouled back to the screen.
Over something going on with you at home or whatever it is, whether you're a teen and a young adult, and it's had a huge uptick ever since he came out and spoke out. And he was so measured with his response and the way he went about it. You got to go out and give him all the kudos possible. So I'm glad he got a nice little ovation.
Isn't that amazing? It really has proven to be a good thing that he was open about it. 1-2 to Duran leading off the first. The pitch is a check swing. He did not go. That was a slider away. And it is 2-2. This is his 16th overall appearance, Lucas, last time out. 5 shutout innings. 2-2. The pitch is inside a fastball, and it's 3-2. Alex Cora said today that he thinks because of what Duran did and said in that series, he should be the Red Sox nominee for the Clemente Award. 3-2 to Duran. The pitch is fouled on the left field side and out of play.
I'd have to agree. You know, it's extremely brave if you think about it. There's been a stigma for way too long, talking about mental health and what you can do to help yourself, talking to people, having the capability or the resources to talk to somebody about, you know, something that really wasn't talked about it for decades and decades, especially in this game.
3-2 again to Duran, leading off the opening inning. The pitch, swing and a miss. He got him. Slider in under the hands, and there's one away. JP Nolan tells us that, according to Baseball Reference, 35 degrees at the time of the first pitch is the third coldest first pitch temp ever at Fenway. 2018, on April the 15th, it was 34 degrees. Same story, April 17, 2003, the year before Lenny burst onto the scene. Here's Rafi Devers. The pitch to him is a strike. He was fooled there with a slider. It's 0-1. I couldn't believe how cold it was on the field before the game today.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Feels like 19, you said? I concur. I 100% concur. Tristan Casas was out there with short sleeves. I don't know if you saw that.
Of course he was. The 0-1.
If you didn't cover him, that would make no sense. But we've known him for a little bit now, so it makes total sense.
Well, it's freezing, but he still needs his vitamin D, right?
He's getting it. Well, I don't know how much he's getting, but...
Here's Devers, 0-2. Rafi, just phenomenal over the weekend. 0 for 3 yesterday. The pitch is a little bit high. He did have a sac fly, did Devers. He's driven in 9, and the average all the way up now to 244. After that awful start to this season. No score in the bottom of the first. 1 out, bases empty. 1-2 to Devers. The pitch is swung on a miss. He got him with a slider. Tough night to hit, and they're 2 away.
Yeah, you always defer to the back of your baseball card, right? He was 0 for 21 and then came back 10 for 20. You know, these things tend to average out. There's no panic, or there shouldn't be at least. Devers is going to Devers. He's done it for a long time now, and he's had to get his feet under him, kind of get himself right.
Here's Alex Bregman. He's the only guy who, at the plate, does not have that sort of hood and mask on. 2 down, bases empty. You're not in Houston anymore. The pitch is popped up on the right side of the infield. Second baseman Schneider looks out. In comes the right fielder Springer. He's there to make the play, and the Red Sox down very quickly in the first inning. No score after 1 at Fenway.
That's it well, right center field, into the gap. Page's back, he can't make the catch. It'll one hop the wall. Dansby scores, Amaya to second. Cubs lead 1-0 here in the second. Hits just keep on coming for Miguel Amaya. Big knock.
Well, tries to beat him with a fastball upstairs. It's a real nice, powerful swing. Head rate on it, gets good extension.
2 away, Matt Shaw. Shaw looking for that first big league hit. 0 for 6, 3 Ks so far.
Hits off the glove of Dreyer, and Matt Shaw, that's his first big league hit, saved that baseball. You don't think so?
I don't know. That might be an E1.
Looking up on the scoreboard, there are no errors listed. There it is.
Congratulations on your first big league knock, Matt.
Save that ball for Matt Shaw.
Well, when we moved downtown San Diego from Qualcomm to Petco Ballpark, new uniforms were on the way, and this is the Padre home white. This jersey is from 2007, which was a career year for myself, winning a Cy Young. There's some different memories that stand out. One in this uniform against the Braves, where I struck out a Padre record 16, wearing this jersey, trying to make the Padre and the Friar faithful proud.
Directions with our producer Doug Lane here in the booth is Garrett Crochet. On the mound for the second inning, scoreless at Fenway. It is utterly frigid. A first pitch fastball misses outside for ball 1. The flag in center field is blowing sort of out to center field. The one above us usually is the one that tells the true direction. 1-0 is fouled by Straw. Back to the screen. The longtime Houston Astro outfielder Straw is level with Crochet, 1-1.
I do have a compass on my phone just for this scenario. I knew it would come in handy one day.
Normally you face north in a broadcast booth. The sun sets to your west. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, and a strike on the inside corner. Doug just handed me his phone, and it doesn't help me at all. It means I guess the wind is blowing hard to the east, out of the west. So yeah, it's blowing out to right at the moment. This is an app with all these colors and streaks. Looks like a game of Pong as a sweeper misses down and in. It's 2-2.
So the weather sensor on top of the light pole.
Not bad.
It's pretty right on, right?
It is.
Blowing out to right.
The one thing about this ballpark that's so different is it can swirl around here. The 2-2 is just inside. Crochet, to start this game, is not all that sharp, Lenny. It's 3-2.
Might have something to do with the weather. We saw a little bit of that last night from both starting pitchers. you got to be able to find a way, get a little bit of a lather, stand up in the dugout between innings.
He's already thrown 30 pitches. The 3-2 is lined on a hop to short. It is grabbed by Story. As always, he leaps and throws to first. Not his strongest hurl, but it gets there in time. And there's one out in the second.
Barrios really made that adjustment yesterday. Fitz actually did a little bit too. He got deeper in the game than I thought he was going to get because he had that really high pitch count early.
A station break. We'll get you that in a moment. Arbella Insurance Foundation, dedicated to striking out cancer by supporting the Jimmy Fund. For every strikeout from a pitcher during the 24th season, Arbella donates $50 to the Jimmy Fund. Here's another chopper to short. Crochet needs quick outs. He'll get one here. His Story backhands and throws to first. Tyler Heineman, the catcher, gone. 2 down, 10 seconds. Station ID on the Shaws and Star Market, WEEI Red Sox Radio Network.
From the WEEI studios, 93.7 WEEI FM and HD1, Lawrence, Boston. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Will Fleming and Lenny DiNardo as Alan Roden facing Garrett Crochet. Left on left. First pitch is inside for ball one. We got a fan behind the first base dugout with a sign that would make Lou Merloni very proud. Lou, in the offseason, kept saying he wanted pigs on the Red Sox. The 1-0 pitch is a little bit down and in, ball two, and so he has coined Crochet the Pig, like capital T, capital P. Garrett and his wife have embraced the nickname, and we got a fan in the stands right behind the Red Sox dugout with a sign that says War Pig on it. The 2-0 is a perfect fastball, and it's 2-1.
I've been called worse.
This poster is a drawing, like a painting, of a pink pig with a camouflage army helmet on.
Now, isn't that a song? Who is that, Ozzy?
Yeah, Black Sabbath, maybe. 2-1 pitch is swung on and missed, and it's 2-2.
I get it. I like my rock and roll.
Showing your full range. 2 down at the top of the second. We are scoreless at Fenway. Here's the pitch. Swinging a high drive into right field. Not on this night, though. Back out at Ref Snyder in front of the warning track. He's there to make the play. Good luck getting one out tonight. And Crochet gets through the second. He's not happy with himself at all.
Here's Betts hitting a fly ball to left center field. Green to the track, to the wall. Gone! Got just enough! And here in the 8th, the Dodgers have just enough. Golfs one left field and turns out the lights. He rings the bell with a 3-run walk-off home run. Gold that blew heaven on earth.
Please welcome 2025 National Baseball Hall of Famer, number 51, Ichiro Suzuki. Wow. Great pitch, Ichiro. And congratulations on your well-deserved induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. We cannot wait to celebrate you all season long.
Count is 0-2. Tied at 4 in the bottom of the 9th inning.
There's a swing and a line drive into the corner. Fair ball! A walk-off winner on opening day! Look at him come out of the dugout! It's the first walk-off in Marlins history on opening day, and it comes courtesy of Kyle Stowers.
How about that?
WEEI Red Sox Radio Network.
Rob Refsnyder leads it off in the bottom of the second inning on an Arctic night at Fenway. The pitch to Rob from a lefty who he loves is a fastball on the inside corner, and it is 0-1. One of the casualties of the new depth the Red Sox have on their roster. Rob has not seen a lot of the field so far, but he's delivered. Here he pops one towards us. That'll get into the seats. And out of play, and it's quickly 0-2.
One of the hardest jobs in baseball is being a utility guy, a guy that doesn't play very often, especially a guy that comes off the bench late in games. To be able to go out there and succeed in that role, it's extremely difficult.
He's had 2 at-bats. Of course, he's got a hit in one of them. The 0-2 is swung on and missed. He got him with a fastball. And this guy, Easton Lucas, has struck out 3 of the first 4 Red Sox hitters.
He's got a ton of swing and miss in that fastball, especially up above the zone. Last outing he threw, had a ton of those. It just has a little bit of extra ride. He's throwing the ball pretty hard, plus a little bit of deceptiveness from a left-hand side.
You know a thing or two about that. Here's Trevor's story. 1 out, bases empty. Trevor hitting .250 with a couple homers and 4 driven in. The pitch is foul on the first base side. Feels like with Crochet on the mound, it really should be a pork special at Shaw's, but instead it's tender roast on sale at Shaw's and Star Market. Right now, beef eye of round roast or bottom round roast, $3.97 a pound when you use the digital coupon. Wanda's story is upstairs, a fastball, and it's 1-1.
I'll have to stop on the way home.
There's one directly between my house and yours. 1-1.
Where would that be, Warwick?
Yeah, and you know, there's also one right here on Washington Ave on the way toward 95. The 1-1 pitch is a changeup to Story for a strike, and it's 1-2. I often pick up some goods on the way home, depending on the time the game ends. The 6:45 start time makes that a little easier to get to Star Market before they close on the way home after a night game.
What's your commute like? What time are we looking at?
Yeah, about 50 minutes usually. Shorter than yours, that's for sure.
About an hour 45 typically.
Ooh. But where you live is gorgeous. Here's a high fly foul down the right field line and out of play. You and I are both Ocean Staters. I mean, the more I live there, it's now been 10 full years. I just adore Rhode Island.
Same. 10 years here. Yeah, I married a Rhode Island girl, Narragansett, so that's what happens.
Hi, neighbor. The 1-2 is fouled back to the screen, and it remains 1-2. The community sense down in Rhode Island is just off the charts good. And I love Boston. I love this metro area. There are a lot of wonderful suburbs, but unless you live like literally in Brookline, it's hard to get a commute that's much shorter than mine.
I always walked.
1-2 is swung on and missed, and Story is gone. And there are 2 away.
I lived 1 block away in 2004, right under the baseball tavern, or above the baseball tavern.
R.I.P.
And then, I was roommates with Eucalyptus over by Copley, the Garrison Square apartments over there. And then I lived way down off Beacon. But I walked every day. I didn't need a car. My car was a glorified suitcase. It was in a garage with all my junk.
Here's Christian Campbell at 2 down. The base is empty. So in your apartment with Uke, you didn't have to talk much. Here's Campbell. The pitch is drilled foul on the first base side.
I love Uke, but I'm going to tell you, on days where he didn't go 3 for 4, we would sit on the couch and watch TV, and I would be his psychologist. I would have him lay down and just kind of talk about the at-bats.
Burn some incense.
Yeah.
2 down in the second inning, no score. Sox and Jays. The pitch is down and into Campbell. And it's 1-1. I think, Lenny, what you did and what Uke did, and now what so many of these players do, living in these condos right around Fenway, is so smart because it just eliminates one more hurdle. Life is complicated enough as a ball player.
There's a lot more of them now than there was when we played. It's grown up so much.
They're a lot more expensive, too. The 1-1 is in the dirt. Change up, 2-1 to Campbell.
I always liked having a roommate, going back and being able to just talk about the game or this and that, bounce ideas, and to walk to the ballpark. You're not by yourself either. It was always nice.
2 balls and 1 strike to Christian Campbell. He's hitting .364 with a couple homers. The pitch to him is a strike. That was way low. He can't believe it. This has not been a great strike zone to begin the game from Ron Culpa. And it's 2-2 to Campbell.
I'll tell you what, I got to have that one. Being a pitcher, I appreciate it, but that's not even close. Come on.
Oh. I mean, what was that, 4 inches, 5 beneath the zone?
At least. I tell you what, it's going to be a quick game if he continues to call that.
Campbell's had a great eye. Deuce is wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Crowd filling in a little bit here. The pitch is outside. Could not possibly call that a strike. So really, Campbell should be on first base, but instead it's 3-2.
Could be a little bit of a makeup, too, from Crochet's last inning. He had a little bit of or his first inning, I should say, a little bit of a give me.
Well, there's no doubt about that. It probably should have been a bases-loaded walk. Romy is on deck. 3-2 to Campbell, the pitch. Swing and a foul on the first base side off one of the ribbon boards. And we'll do it again in a full count. Lucas and Campbell.
You know, when you're standing next to Campbell, you don't really appreciate it if you watch him on TV or anywhere, but when you stand next to him, he's an imposing figure, very athletic and tall.
No doubt about that. 3-2. Here's the pitch, and it is skied into shallow center field. Straw coming in, calling off the left fielder Roden. He's there to make the play in a twilight sky, and the inning is over. No score after 2. Sox and Jays in the Shaws and Star Market. WEI Red Sox Radio Network.
Hey, Red Sox Nation, imagine replacing your roof. One.
Mackenzie Gore to the mound. Fastball down and in for the strikeout. Down and away. So that's 3 straight and number 5. Oh, that's on the inside edge. 10 strikeouts now.
13 strikeouts. A new Nationals opening day record for Mackenzie Gore. He'll depart the mound to a standing ovation to the first base side. 6 one-hit shutout innings for Gore against the Phillies.
Goldschmidt swings at the first pitch and lofts it to left center field and deep. Track, wall, see ya! There's a leadoff hitter, 1-0 Yanks. Bellinger lost one deep to right center. There it goes into the bleachers. See ya! Back to back. That one's driven deep to left field. There it goes! See ya! Back to back to back. 3-0 Yankees.
Absolute tank, right center field. It is off the wall. To second goes Ohtani. To home goes Ohtani. It was a home run. And the question is, without the fans, would have it been a home run?
After review, they're calling the field stands. Home run.
Yeah, like I said, an absolute tank.
Time here, he's brushed back with a fastball, and it is 1-0 in the Herb Chambers batting order in this frame. Bichette, Guerrero, and Santander, brought to you by Herb Chambers Genesis of Auburn. The 1-0 inside. He's not totally sharp yet, Crochet, and it is 2-0. The third inning is brought to you by Citgo. Whether you're crossing the state line like Lenny and I will after the ball game, or just going cross town, Club Citgo saves you money on every fill-up. The 2-0 is a little bit high, a cutter. And it's 3-0.
The first couple pitches of this at-bat, he's trying to really work inside. He knows how aggressive Bichette is. Swings early in counts. He's trying to get him to swing at those and hopefully break a bat. Third pitch, way up outside the zone.
3-0 pitch is outside. I mean, that's a 4-pitch walk that was really not close at all. So a leadoff walk, that's trouble. Bichette aboard, and here comes Vladdy Guerrero Jr.
You can tell that you're just not feeling the ball like you typically would when the weather's like this, especially when it's windy. You get extra dry fingers. Feels like there's almost like a dust on the baseball.
Here's Guerrero. He takes a good one, a strike, a fastball, 94. Is there a temptation in these conditions, Lenny, to take a little something off?
Yeah, that pitch right there was 94. You know, he's got 97, 98 under his belt, but to be able to dial it up to 94, still pretty good if you can hit your spots.
A 1 to Guerrero is a changeup at 90. That's a ball, 1-1. I guess that would be one of the downsides of that, though, where there's not as much separation between fastball and off speed. Double play depth behind Crochet. 1-1. The pitch is a foul ball. He tried to stop his swing, could not. Up and in on his hands, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, the definition of a good pitch, what makes a good pitch, location, movement, velocity. The separation speed is important, but if you locate it well, you can still get away with it if it's a good 4-mile-an-hour difference.
It looked like he was leaning out over the plate there, Guerrero. 1-2 from Crochet to Vladdy. Bichette runs, the pitch is fouled off. That's in a 2-strike count, a good break for the Red Sox because Bichette had that bag stolen all the way off of Crochet.
Yeah, if you're Vladdy, you see that in the corner of your eye. Typically, you wouldn't swing, but if you get a good pitch to hit, if you're Vladdy, he can do a lot of damage on it. That's what he's looking for.
Well, he's done a lot of that here. In 40 6 games at Fenway Park, 359 with 10 homers and 44 driven in. 1-2, the pitch is drilled high and deep and foul down the left field line. You can exhale. That was a sweeper down in under the hands. Lenny, we've seen too many of those inside the pole in this yard from Guerrero.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pitch, the sweeper. It's a little bit of lack of velocity compared to the cutter, but the location of it had that probably 2 or 3 baseball lengths inside. There's really not much you can do with that pitch.
1-2 to Vladdy. Bichette leading at first. The pitch is fouled back to the screen. 96 that time. Well, Crochet has now thrown 47 pitches, and there's nobody out in the 3rd inning.
The last inning, you threw 12 pitches. The inning before that, 25. You're looking for ground balls right here. Try to get 2 for 1. Get the ball on the ground right here, and you'll be okay.
Bichette at first. 1-2. Here's the pitch, and it is outside. They throw behind, and it's very close, but Bichette got to the bag in time. And Narvaez has shown a big arm behind the plate, and they almost had him at first. Alex Cora told us before the game they're very comfortable with Carlos Narvaez and Blake Sabol, who comes up AAA. But he told him, stop focusing on anything offensively. Your job is to prevent runs. The 2-2 is fouled back, man. Cutter at the bottom of the zone, and Guerrero is making Crochet work. It stays 2-2.
That's one thing that I think Veritek did very, very well when he was playing. You know, he could go out there and have a terrible day at the plate. Did have many of them, but when he did, he turned the page so quickly because his focus was on what the pitching staff was going to do.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Vladdy. Crochet delivers. Guerrero fouls it off. Not quite the same swing and miss stuff tonight from Garrett Crochet.
Yeah, if you think about the temperatures, it's bound to happen. A little bit tight here and there. You're not quite getting the extension. You're not feeling the baseball like you typically would.
Guerrero 0 for 4 in his career against Crochet. He had a very dominant start with the White Sox against the Blue Jays a year ago. Did Garrett. Here another 2-2. It is on the ground towards second. Weird hop. Campbell stumbles, somehow gloves and throws to first in time to get Guerrero. That could have been a disaster. Campbell lost his feet. It took a very weird hop off the turf, and Campbell was able to athletically backhand and make the out at first.
That was an outstanding job. Great second wind right there. Feet kind of went out from under him. He was able to get the ball in the glove and still make the play at first base. If you have a double play ball and you mess it up at all, first thing you should do is make sure you get at least 1 out.
Here's Anthony Santander with Bichette at second, and hitting right, Santander takes a cutter on the corner, 0-1. That's one thing we've seen from Campbell early, including his first chance in the big leagues. Even if something goes wrong, his reaction time, his ability to recover is spectacular. 0-1, high in the air into shallow right field. Out goes Christian. In comes Ref Snyder, and Rob is there to make the play.
One of the things that's extremely difficult to teach in this game, especially to a 22-year-old, is to slow the heartbeat down, right? To be able to act like you've been there for a couple of years. You know, he's extremely green right now, and he's playing at the highest level. Didn't have a lot of time in the minor leagues either, so coming up and learning on the go, showing his athleticism and aptitude to be able to make adjustments at the big league level is extremely difficult. He's doing an outstanding job so far.
No doubt about that. Even game-to-game adjustments, in-game adjustments for Campbell. Here's George Springer. At second, and he takes a strike. Cutter at the extreme top of the zone, and it's 0-1. Crochet faced him in an almost identical spot last time with first base open and 2 down. He drew a walk with Clement on deck. We'll see what he gets here. 0-1. The pitch is a little outside. Fastball. 55 pitches now thrown, and it's 1-1.
When you're not feeling the ball like you typically would, it's the finish. It's that last inch of the release.
1-1. Pitch is a little bit high. He's being delicate with Springer. On the Subaru of New England scoreboard, the Tigers continue to do the Red Sox favors. 5-0. They beat the Yankees earlier today. Rays host the Angels. Orioles in Arizona a little bit later on. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. He blew a fastball by him at 96.
It's a great adjustment right there, being able to go from, throwing a baseball really far, arm side out, flying open just a tad, to be able to keep that front side closed just an inch longer and finish that pitch in these conditions. Very important.
2-2, 2 down. Runner at second in the third. The pitch is inside. He had Springer dancing around on a cut fastball, and it's 3-2. I would imagine throughout a ballgame, that's something, those little mechanical adjustments, they're always in your mind.
Absolutely, and you know right out of the hand what you did. You know, if you release the ball, you know where this ball is going to be, and you know the adjustment right away. You've done it so many times, you don't really need anybody to tell you what to do.
3 balls, 2 strikes, no score in the third. Right in scoring position for the Jays. The payoff is in there, strike 3. Cutter on the outside corner, and Crochet gets out of another little mini jam. He's got 3 strikeouts. We're through 2.5 at Fenway. Romy Narvaez.
I'm going to throw out a restaurant kitchen term to you, and then hit me with the baseball one. I'll start first.
Okay.
Mise en place.
Oh, mise en place. That is, as the chef, you put all your different ingredients out kind of before you start cooking, right?
You got it, man.
Yeah.
That's the most
That's
important
a tough one. I hear this one a lot because of my name, can of corn.
Easy fly ball.
That one stroked deep to left center field. That's way back there. Head of the wall. It is gone. Christian Campbell with his first major league home run. Absolutely destroys that one into the bullpen to tie the game 2-2.
1-0, gets one right down the middle. But this one here, he tries to get the ball in the air, and he drives that this kid is strong. Kev, we talked about the hips, and keeping the hands back. He creates some torque. That thing got out quick.
Max Muncy in the air. Max Muncy traveling back towards the wall. See you later. How about your first big league hit as a homer? 6-0 A's, and Max Muncy, we got to get you that ball back.
Atta boy. Well, Max Muncy, Jenny, he's been hungry for that first one.
Not one person made eye contact. Now they're going to come for him.
The count is 0-2. Tied at 4 in the bottom of the 9th inning.
There's a swing and a line drive into the corner. Fair ball! A walk-off winner on opening day! Look at him come out of the dugout! It's the first walk-off in Marlins history on opening day, and it comes courtesy of Kyle Stowers. How about that?
No network.
Here's Romy Gonzalez to lead it off in the third, and he swings and fouls the first pitch off on the right field side and out of play for strike 1. We were joined by Greg Whiteley, who directed and was the engineer and idea brains behind the great Netflix series, The Clubhouse, a year with the Boston Red Sox. What a wonderful show that is. The 0-1 to Romy is driven high and deep into left field. Will it catch some green? No, a leaping grab out there by Roden. And there's one away. Greg, great to see you. I have to apologize because I know how many hours you spent looking at tape and cutting up things. You've probably heard way too much of my voice over the last year.
No. Well, you have that silver baritone, soothing. My wife and I go to sleep with it every night. I've got it on a loop in my plays over my stereo.
It is a wonderful series, 8 episodes. It launched last night on Netflix. A lot of us were lucky enough to get a sneak peek at it as Carlos Narvaez comes on, right-handed hitter, grounds one, just foul outside of third. You have to be really proud of the job you did.
I represent, as you know, because you met a lot of them, there is an army of people that helped us make this show, and you never finish it. You hurry, and there's a deadline in which you just abandon the project. And so far, the reviews that have been coming in and the feedback we've been getting have been so positive, and so we're thrilled. But largely because of this great, talented crew that I work with.
Greg has won a lot of Emmys as a filmmaker. The ground ball to short is picked there by Bichetti, throws to first. Narvaez is gone. You know, Greg, I think we all understood when the Red Sox just gave unprecedented access that this was going to be a story about the players, their lives, the intricacies. But having watched it, I think you just did such a great job capturing how hard it is to be a big league ball player and the things these guys take with them away from the field.
I appreciate that. Our job really is to show up and film what's in front of us. We're almost like nature photographers, and then you're looking for opportunities that can build certain arcs and storylines. But that was one of my takeaways. I was surprised at just the way that baseball can weigh on people, weigh on a player, even a very talented, successful player.
It almost haunts them as a changeup to Cedon Rafaela is ball two. Obviously, we'll talk to you in a minute here about Jarren Duran, who in a lot of ways emerged as the protagonist of the story. He and Casas, and certainly the Red Sox manager Alex Cora, as Cedon is ready. The 2-0 is drilled into the grass in left. That is a base hit. He's going to take a big turn at first, but a 2-out knock. The Red Sox have their first base runner. Everyone, of course, is talking about the openness, the honesty that Jarren shared with the world about the attempt he made on his own life. What were you thinking? I mean, he was so open. He is to all of us. When he volunteered that on camera, what was going through your mind?
Well, leading up to that moment, we had a number of conversations. He had just been somebody that had been generous with us, and he's somebody that's a naturally reserved guy.
He is, and here he is, by the way, on cue. He takes a breaking ball for ball one.
So he doesn't seek cameras. He wasn't like hungry for attention, but for some reason we just kind of hit it off with him, and so when we had followed him from the plane to the bus up into his hotel room, it was a road game, and the conversation started to get more serious and more somber. Weirdly, I felt lucky in that moment that he would choose to share that with us in that moment. I think it's, I don't think it has anything to do with me. I think it had to do with a mandate that he feels to get his story out there to help others.
Which is really cool. It's 3-0 to him here with Cedon at first and 2 down. No score in the bottom of the third. Greg Whiteley's with us, and Alex Cora made the point today. He's going to save lives. The Samaritan hotline has gone off since the show released. That must make him and you feel good. The 3-0 is taken for a ball. So Captain Chaos is aboard. The Red Sox have 2 on with 2 out for Rafi Devers. But I mean, whether it was Tristan Casas, Duran, Wilyer Abreu, it's amazing how much you got out of these players.
I think it's a function of how long the season is, and when you're around somebody that long enough, I think they just start to feel bad for you and start to open up more. We really become like the furniture. Yeah.
Here's Devers. He had a homer on opening day when Greg was there in Seattle last year. Here he swings and misses a slider, and it's 0-1. What'd you learn about Devers last year?
So this was interesting. In spring training, he was so generous with us, eager, fun, happy-go-lucky, and as soon as the season started, boom, changed.
Locked in.
Yeah.
2 on, 2 out. The 0-1 pitch is fouled on the third base side.
Really wanted nothing to do with us after the regular season started.
Well, he is, now the Red Sox, we wish you were around this year in a lot of ways because it's a different, rejuvenated group with Crochet and Bregman, but Devers is very much that way. He is a baseball rat.
Yeah. He explained that to us. He was always super kind, very kind and polite to all of us. He would have fun with us, but he was somebody that, as he explained it, I am just here to play baseball.
0-2 is grounded to third. It's handled over there by Clement, and he takes it to the third base bag. Inning over. More with Greg when we return. No score after 3. Sox and Jays scoreless in the Shaws and Star Market.
That one stroked deep to left center field. That's way back there. Head of the wall. It is gone. Christian Campbell with his first major league home run. Absolutely destroys that one into the bullpen to tie the game 2-2.
1-0, gets one right down the middle. But this one here, he tries to get the ball in the air, and he drives it. This kid is strong. Kev, we talked about the hips, and keeping the hands back. He creates some torque. That thing got out quick.
Well, he's left-handed, and he hits this one with authority. That one is out of here. Juan Soto's first home run as a New York Met, a laser, and so many more to come in the next 15 years. Usually doesn't take long for Soto to hit his first home run with a new team. With the Yankees, it was his third game. With the Mets, his second.
Sometimes you got to let people know what neighborhood you're from. That ball is squared up.
2-1. In the dirt, gets away. Here comes Hill. He's going to score. 3 wins, 3 walk-offs to start the season.
Kyle, you can't make this stuff up.
What a way to begin the season for the Marlins.
The first place Marlins.
And all the Pirates can do is tuck their tails and get out of town. What a start for this bunch led by Clayton McCullough. They don't care how they're going to win.
The director of the Clubhouse, the Netflix show, on 1-pitch ground ball to short. Trevor Story throws to first in time. We're going to have Greg for a couple innings to really get all of it out. This is such a quick ball game on a frigid Fenway night. I thought the stuff around Trevor's story early in the show was really moving because all of us are so invested in Trevor, and he was a total open book and devastated the way his year started.
Well, we've got the story team. Ross Lindstrom heads up that story team, and Adam Leibowitz, and we describe it as sort of the Game of Thrones effect, that if you can get an audience to fall in love with a character and then kill that character in the first 3 episodes, you let the audience know that this could happen to anybody. And Trevor kind of gave us that last year because he's such an engaging person, and you love him. And he was a big part of the team, and he starts off hot, and both defensively and offensively, and then he gets this season, or seemingly a season-ending injury.
He did come back in September, but and it's been fun for us this year to watch him again start well and kind of unleash his inner competitor as the 2-1 is a strike on the inside corner. It's 2-2. As you know, it's been a frustrating time for Trevor with the Red Sox. And he's just dying to prove to the people of this region what kind of ball player he is.
Oh, you could feel it last year. He was dying to do it last year. And I think if there is ever somebody that was born to win over the hearts and minds of New Englanders, it's that guy. Just a hard-working stud of a baseball player, cares about the right things, is the right kind of clubhouse guy. He's the last guy you want to see get injured, and you're the guy. He's the first guy you want to do well.
No doubt about that. Garrett Crochet has registered his 4th strikeout. He punches out Davis Schneider, so now 2 down quickly. And here is Miles Straw. I do think we're going to have to keep you around for another half inning, if that's okay with you, Greg. This thing's just motoring along.
Let's do 2.
Let's do it. Let's the pitch to Miles Straw's high for ball 1.
For me, watching the documentary, it was basically took me back to when I was a player. And when you ask a former player what they miss most, it's typically not what happens on the field. It's the camaraderie. And I found myself watching it, getting emotional, like missing the clubhouse more than anything. And you know, I do Red Sox fantasy camp every year, and it's like a family reunion because you get to see players that you played with 20 years ago.
I bet
that's what I miss more than anything. Like, yeah, it was great to go out and pitch, whatever, that's fine. But seeing guys that you were together with for 162 times, however many years you played, I mean, you really captured what these guys go through and how they lean on each other. They go out to eat together. They're relying on each other when they really can't rely on anybody else other than family, which might be thousands of miles away.
Yeah, I that was one of the things that struck me as well. I think you get in this, it's not just the games that you're playing together. I would have thought before I started this show, if you told me there's a 7 o'clock game, I thought players would get there at 5 p.m., 5:30. No, these guys are here at 10 in the morning. So they're not just playing games together, they're all day. They're poring over film together. They're working out together. They're rehabbing together. They're attending each other's weddings. They're laughing with each other when there's something great that happens, and then the opposite too. And so it's very much a family. How could it not be? One of the poignant things that we captured at the end was people saying goodbye. Where a season ends, and given the nature of free agency, you don't
never know.
Your family is most likely in some form or another getting split up.
3-2 pitches. Strike 3 called at the bottom of the zone. Crochet sends him down in order. A quick 4th inning. We'll hang on.
To mourn the loss of an athletics legend and one of the greatest players in Major League Baseball history, Rickey Henderson. Today we honor his memory with his number 24 on our backs, all season long with his number 24 on our sleeves, and forever, his legacy in our hearts. Now, please join us in a 24-second moment of silence for the late, great Rickey Henderson.
Dodgers up 2-0. And the batter is Tommy Edman. That ball is crushed in the air to left field. Did he get under it, or did he get enough? He got enough! And it's Tommy Tanks with the first home run in Tokyo. Yeah, the first home run of the 25 campaign comes from 25. Well, that was a big-time swing for 2 strikes. Tommy Edman looking like a cleanup man up there.
1-1. That's it well, right center field, into the gap. Page's back, he can't make the catch. It'll one off the wall. Dansby scores. Amaya to second. Cubs lead 1-0 here in the second. It's just keep on coming for Miguel Amaya. Big knock.
Well, tries to beat him with a fastball upstairs. It's a real nice, powerful swing. Head rate on it, gets good extension.
Alex Bregman leads it off in the bottom of the 4th inning. Red Sox and Jays sailing along on a frozen Fenway night. Bregman fly to right his first time. Easton Lucas throws, and Bregman takes a little bit low. Ball 1. Greg Whiteley, the director of the wonderful Netflix show The Clubhouse about the Boston Red Sox, is with us. I remember this vividly, Greg. You and I were on a sort of a mini bus in the Dominican Republic in the middle of spring training last year. The 1-0 pitch to Bregman is a little bit outside. Just sort of talking about the narrative arcs of the season and what you might find interesting about the team. And I told you, and I'm sure you knew this anyway, that you were going to find Alex Cora to be an absolute baseball savant in the Red Sox dugout. The 2-0 pitch is high, and you captured that in so many moments in the show.
You probably don't remember, but you told me a lot of things on that bus ride, and you were almost prophetic. You outlined to me who you thought would be main subjects, main players, who are players that would be interested in being on camera, who may not be. But you were certainly right about Alex Cora. I think to get this kind of unprecedented access that we got, you had to have so many things go right. And one of the main things that went right for us was Alex Cora being the manager.
He's such a special guy. It's 3-2 to Alex Bregman. So people are going to talk a lot about the scene where he pinch hits for O'Neill with Wilyer Abreu on the day before his grandmother passes away. We will obviously never forget the 2 home runs in Texas the next day when Wilyer just goes off. But there's one other moment that I really found to be, for me, the most poignant of the entire series. The 3-2 is driven high into left field. It'll hang up on this cold night. In front of the track, Rodin's there. He makes the play. And this is Brian Bayo, who signed this big extension in the Dominican and just had a really disappointing season. You have all this wonderful footage of him in the middle of starts, frustrated and emotional, and in a way that we'd not seen him before. And then you have this shot at Fenway Park at around, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, down in the corner by the Red Sox bullpen, of Alex talking to Bayo about how much he misses his family.
Yeah, I think there were several different ways to access this part of baseball, which maybe there's a lot of people that just wouldn't appreciate. But to go to a completely different country where you do not speak that language, at least you don't speak it fluently, and everything from the food to the weather is completely different than the way that you grew up. And you are expected day in and day out to go out and perform at a hyper-focused level. That conversation, that moment in the show, I think goes a long way to helping. It helped me to appreciate just how difficult it is to be a professional baseball player coming from another country.
Rob Refsnyder's grounded out to short. So now with 2 down, here is Trevor's story. We may need to even steal more of Greg's time, to maybe one more half inning. It's no score in the bottom of the 4th, Sox and the Jays. Trevor's story, the hitter, it's 0-1. The pitch is swung on and missed. You never start a story with 2 outs, 2 strikes. But I just thought that Alex's feel for the player and the human was so on display in that moment. I want people to watch it. I don't want to spoil the whole thing. But his sense for the pain that Bayo was feeling, missing his family, was so amazing.
Yeah. Well, Alex himself, he lived that life. Yep. And I think also Alex has a special gear that he's able to tap inside of him that I think he's an empathy machine. He when he sees a baseball player, he seems to instinctively know what that kid needs to hear, what he needs to feel. He's great. He's special. The 1-2 to Story is drilled down the left field line toward the corner, but foul. I mean, we lost my dad 6 months ago yesterday, and the very next day, I open up my phone and there's a message from Alex Cora. Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
It just the man that he is.
Yeah. I can see why. I can see why the Red Sox were anxious to hang on to him.
Yeah, and they have, and he's got a much more robust roster this year. I think it's got a chance to be a super special season. You didn't get a chance to chronicle Christian Campbell, who's on deck. I frankly would have very much enjoyed the interviews with him. He's like a total, in the best possible way, deer in the headlights, total naive. The 1-2 is ripped into the gap in left center field. There's a base hit for Trevor Story. He makes the turn at first. He'll wisely hold there with a 2-out single. I can feel it. You see, you're rooting for Trevor Story. I love it.
Oh, you nailed it. I mean, I grew up a Seattle Mariners fan. We could only dream of being angry with our organization for only winning 4 World Series in the 2000s. But what you get to know these guys, and you know them, Will, it's the same thing where to know them is the level. There's just, especially that guy right there that just made the first good dude.
Me too is very special. So is this kid, Christian Campbell, 2 down. He takes a strike. That was a changeup on the outside corner, and it's 0-1. The Clubhouse season with the Boston Red Sox now available on Netflix. Greg Lightley is the wonderful director and became a close friend of ours throughout a season following the club. The 0-1 to Campbell in there for a strike, and it's 0-2. Did being around the team, the day-to-day grind of it, I mean, you weren't there for 162, but you were there for a ton of spring training and a lot of the season. Did just the physical toll of it register with you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it would be like to be physically playing a baseball game, but to just be filming a baseball game was exhausting. I have a brand new respect for these guys that do it. I never would have thought. I knew hitting a baseball is hard. I didn't know that the actual length of a season that would be as hard as it was.
0-2 to Christian Campbell. Lucas throws, and Christian swings and misses. He is gone. The inning is over. One more half inning. Is that okay?
I love it.
All right. No score after 4. Red Sox in the JAYS.
Driven deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. 3-0 Yankees. High fly ball. Left field. Curio back. Trap. Wall. See ya. A grand slam for Aaron Judge. And the Yankees are pouring it on. High fly ball center field. See ya. 3 home runs for Aaron Judge. They've done it again.
That one stroked deep to left center field. That's way back there. Head of the wall. It is gone. Christian Campbell with his first major league home run. Absolutely destroys that one into the bullpen to tie the game 2-2.
1-0 gets one right down the middle. But this one here, he tries to get the ball in the air, and he drives that this kid is strong. Kev, we talked about the hips, and keeping the hands back. He creates some torque. That thing got out quick.
I'm going to go check out Food Truck Row. So, what did you guys get today?
Philly cheesesteaks.
Both of you got the same thing. Are they that good?
Oh, yeah.
Got a hot dog and some fries.
Just kind of basic ballpark.
Chicken bacon sandwich.
Uh-huh.
Philly cheesesteak.
Okay.
And some
crinkle cut fries.
Okay, where are you guys from?
We're from Dallas.
Dallas. That's what's fun about baseball. It brings different regions together, not just the ball and glove and bat, but what we're eating.
At Fenway Park, Tyler Heineman, the right-handed hitting catcher, leads it off against Garrett Crochet, who's thrown 73 pitches, and a line drive up the middle over the leap of Campbell and into center field for a leadoff hit. The Jays have their third knock as we go to the top of the fifth. Greg Whiteley, who directed the wonderful series on Netflix, The Clubhouse, is with us. You know, Greg, when I heard from the Red Sox that they were going to do this thing, I'm going to be honest with you. I thought to myself it would be a big problem, that players would be more reserved, that they wouldn't, because the lifeblood of my job is having open, candid conversations with players in the clubhouse, on the road, around the batting cage as the left-handed hitting Rodin takes a pitch outside for a cutter, 1-0. And so my initial sort of selfish reaction was, well, now everybody's going to be so guarded, they're not going to tell me anything because they're going to worry that the microphones are going to pick everything up. So I'm here to tell you that you guys did such a good job of getting so much, but not doing that as the 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed 1-1. You blended in, and I think you did give players the space and sort of privacy when the time called for it.
First off, I have to say, it is a marvel to watch you work. It's like you have two brains, like a dolphin, that have been separated, where you are talking and interviewing me.
1-1 is a ground ball to third, to
like
second for one.
Jimmy Fallon, and then you have your other half that's watching and monitoring this game. So we made a show called Last Chance U.
Yeah.
And so I've been at this for a while. And we faced, even though we were just going to a junior college, we faced the same level of suspicion.
Yeah.
Like, oh, come on. We're trying to win football games here. Your cameras aren't they just going to get in the way? And people are surprised. It usually takes them about 3 or 4 days to realize we're very much like nature photographers. Our whole job is to blend in. And Alex seemed to instinctively understand that, and he was very good about letting us know where we could go and where we couldn't go, and we figured that all out in spring training. So when it came around, by the time the first game came around, first game, we were fine. Everybody was fine with us.
Runner at first with one down, no score, as Bo Bichette swings and misses at a changeup, and it is 0-2. And you know, the truth is, a lot of the good stuff is in the dugout, in games, the footage. With some bad play-by-play calls laced over the top. But the real good stuff, Greg, is like in people's homes and apartments where they're opening up as Bichette skies one foul down the right field line.
Yeah, I think that in order for this show to really work, I mean, look at the media that's here just tonight. The Boston Red Sox are very well chronicled. They don't need another camera to chronicle them unless you're going to give them access to things they've never seen before.
Which your show did. The 0-2 to Bichette is a little bit high.
So I think too, we're living in a day and age where I think there's just a natural hunger for it, and I like getting to know people in their natural habitat. I like to see where does Duran live? What's his place like? How does he decorate his apartment?
To say the least. The 1-2 is fouled off on the third base side.
Just comes as a surprise to no one, right?
You know, I just think, as someone who works in and adores the game of baseball, it's the thing I love the most other than my family. It's my livelihood. It's great for our sport that players can tell their stories. We do not, as a sport, do enough of that. The 1-2 from Crochet brushes Bichette back, and it's 2-2.
Well, I think with great pride, baseball, over its 100-plus year history, has protected itself from outsiders. You know, that clubhouse is considered a sanctuary, and I think for good reason. You know, to form a team, there needs to be this element.
Me too. The 2-2 is high in the air into right center field. Rafaela and Refsnyder come together, and Rob is there to make the play, and they're 2 down.
The problem with that, of course, is you take it too far, and you'll have the greatest player in the world walk down the street, other than maybe his hometown, and be largely unrecognized. And I think you can have your cake and eat it too. I think, and if you do it, if you tell these kinds of stories and make this kind of documentary content in a responsible way, you can protect the integrity of the game and still get to know these people as people.
It's really cool as Vlad Guerrero takes a fastball in the corner. I would assume, Greg, that other major league teams will now be interested in doing similar projects.
I hope so. You know, the show is barely 12 hours old, and so we'll see how it does. But if there is an audience
into
for
right
it,
field, Refsnyder
look
slides
at
and
that.
dives and
Reffy.
makes the play, and the inning is over. Greg, thanks for the time you spent with us today and all of last year. Congrats on a great project.
of an athletics legend and one of the greatest players in Major League Baseball history, Rickey Henderson. Today, we honor his memory with his number 24 on our backs, all season long with his number 24 on our sleeves, and forever, his legacy in our hearts. Now, please join us in a 24-second moment of silence for the late, great Rickey Henderson.
Cameron Meisner gets into this one, a long drive deep to right. That baby's gone! Home run, and the Rays win it 3-2. Cameron Meisner jumped on the first pitch, his first career home run. Meisner has ended this one in dramatic fashion. First pitch, bottom of the ninth, a walk-off home run. The pride of Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Cameron Meisner.
The crispy fried twin catch with North Atlantic cod and crispy shrimp. Just $14.99 every Monday through Wednesday. You gotta love the nines.
Red Sox review after the game on 93.7 WEEI.
0-1 to Romy Gonzalez, who swung at the first pitch from Easton Lucas. It is a tough night to hit at Fenway Park. The pitch to Romy is a strike on the inside corner. Pitcher's in control. Romy lined out sharply to left his first time. Jays with 3 hits, Sox with 2. Lucas throws. Romy takes one in the dirt. Cutter bounced well in front of the plate. Red Sox baseball brought to you by your New England Ford dealers and F-Series, America's best-selling truck for 48 years and the official truck of the Red Sox. We got to get caught up and pay off some of our sponsors.
That was such a great conversation, though.
He's awesome.
It really was. Got a little bit of a standoff here right now between these pitchers.
Yeah, they're in control. The 1-2 check swing. Did he go? No. That was down and in under the hands of Cutter. And it is 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think people are going to love it. I mean, it was not a successful year on the field for the Red Sox, but you do get to learn so much about the personalities in that room. 2-2 to Romy. The pitch is outside, a fastball, full count.
When you've got a season that ends up 81-81, you're going to see a lot of ups, you're going to see a lot of downs, you're going to see a lot of personalities. And when you're playing for the Boston Red Sox, you have a fan base that wants to see this content.
No doubt about it. 3-2 to Romy. Here's the pitch, and it is swung on and chopped foul outside of third. 4th inning was brought to you by Cars for Kids, the easiest way to get rid of your old car. Donate today, and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Donate now at carsforkids.com. That's Cars with a K. Wind howling, temperatures frigid. Here's a looper foul down the right field line. Lucas has needed only now 64 pitches with nobody out in this bottom of the 5th inning.
He's been in complete control. You know, with weather like this, the dry ball, sometimes it's very, very hard to really command. He's done an outstanding job so far. As hard as it is to control this ball, it's a lot harder to hit the ball in this weather.
No doubt about that. Advantage pitchers for sure. 3-2 to Romy. Leading off this 5th inning. Here's the pitch. Gonzalez swings and misses. He has gone on 94 miles an hour. He's frustrated as Gonzalez. And the 6th strikeout for Lucas. One away in the 5th.
Ball's 94. It's a heavy baseball, and it's got a lot of get-me-up. When we were playing, that was called the invisible. It's like, why aren't you hitting this? It's not going anywhere. It's not moving. 94 right down the middle, but it gets on you quick.
Here comes Carlos Narvaez. 1 down and bases empty. 110th pitch of this game brought to you by 110 Grill. Gluten-free dining done right. The pitch to Carlos is a strike. What does that mean, Lenny? I mean, you hear that all the time in baseball. A heavy fastball.
It feels a lot harder than what the radar gun tells you. 93, 94 seems hard, but a heavy baseball seems like about 96 to 98.
1 is a swing and miss. Is that because of late movement? Just the way the ball travels through the zone?
Yeah, late movement. The RPMs on the ball is getting a ton of rotation. A lot of times it's the extension, how far he gets towards home plate when he releases that baseball. That last inch of release is very, very important. Some guys just do it better than others.
you could argue that maybe nobody in the history of the game did that last inch better than Pedro Martinez. 0-2 to Carlos Narvaez. The pitch is swung on and missed. He got him a cutter. That is 7 strikeouts for Easton Lucas. And this is now becoming one of those nights, Lenny. It was nasty here last night with cold and rain. You're just trying to scratch and claw and find any way to get out of here with a win.
Just put the barrel to the baseball. If you make contact some way, good things will typically happen. You talk about Pedro Martinez. He didn't have hands, though. He had flippers. Let's face it.
True. Longest fingers ever. Here's Cedon Rafaela. The pitch is a strike. I love when he works on the backfields with guys. And look, it's very well-intentioned. He's such a good thinker. He is a genius of pitching and the way to read swings and operate against hitters. It is 0-1 to Cedon. Here's the pitch, and it's another strike 0-2, but the guys he's talking to cannot physically do the stuff that he can.
That's the thing, right? He was always well-intentioned. Even as a player, I remember in Toronto very vividly, he's talking to me about my four-seam fastball and what I'm doing with my grips, and he tells me, he's like, listen, you got to taste the baseball with your fingertips. And I'm like, say what?
Como, the is in the dirt. Fastball to Rafaela.
What he was trying to tell me, though, was you really want to feel the very tip of your fingers leave that baseball and just let it rip at the very last moment, rather than the pad of the fingers, right?
Well, he's such a savant in that way, and that really was so much of his magic. The 1-2 is popped up into shallow right field. It's going to be a tough play coming in. Is Springer. He'll get there, though, on the run. Make the grab, and the inning is over. 4 straight sent down. More on Pedro and Lenny when we...
I'm going to go check out Food Truck Row. So, what did you guys get today?
Philly cheesesteaks.
Both of you got the same thing. Are they that good?
Oh, yeah. Got a hot dog and some fries.
Just kind of basic ballpark.
Chicken bacon sandwich.
Uh-huh.
Philly cheesesteak.
Okay.
And some...
Crinkle cut fries.
Okay, where are you guys from?
We're from Dallas.
Dallas. That's what's fun about baseball. It brings different regions together, not just the ball and glove and bat, but what we're eating.
Max Muncy in the air. Max Muncy traveling back towards the wall. See you later. How about your first big league hit as a homer? 6-0 A's, and Max Muncy, we got to get you that ball back.
Atta boy. Well, Max Muncy, Jenny, he's been hungry for that first one.
Not one person made eye contact. Now they're going to come for him.
2 away, Matt Shaw. Shaw looking for that first big league hit. 0 for 6, 3 Ks so far.
Hits off the glove of Dreyer, and Matt Shaw, that's his first big league hit, saved that baseball. You don't think so?
I don't know. That might be an E1.
Looking up on the scoreboard, there are no errors listed. There it is.
Congratulations on your first big league knock, Matt.
Save that ball for Matt Shaw.
That one stroked deep to left center field. That's way back there, head of the wall. It is gone. Christian Campbell with his first major league home run. Absolutely destroys that one into the bullpen to tie the game 2-2.
1-0, gets one right down the middle. But this one here, he tries to get the ball in the air, and he drives that this kid is strong. Kev, we talked about the hips and keeping the hands back. He creates some torque. That thing got out quick.
Anthony Santander coming to the plate at the top of the 6th inning.
Look at Lenny as the first pitch from Crochet. Is a fastball that misses outside. It's your second game. You're already like an old pro.
Old? You got that right.
I don't know about that. You look like you're about 15 years old, like you could take the mound right now. 1-0 to Santander. Crochet throws, and a high fly foul. Out of play on the first base side. A changeup, and it's 1-1. Let's take 10 seconds for station ID on the Shaws and Star Market, WEEI Red Sox Radio Network.
From the WEEI studios, 93.7 WEEI FM and HD1, Lawrence, Boston. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Santander chops one to short. Story throws wide. Romy tags the runner Santander out. That was a really nice athletic play by Gonzalez behind Crochet. And in this top of the 6th inning, there's one away.
Yeah, it's a great athletic play right there. Oftentimes, when you know the ball is going to be errant to the left there, you just take the glove and the ball and let the momentum, the inertia of the baseball take you right into the tag. Really good job of chasing after him right there.
Inertia. That is a Stetson University word right there.
It's not Stanford.
Hey, here's the 1-out first pitch to George Springer. It misses up and away for ball 1. I mean, people, when they think of Stetson, they think Kluber, DeGrom, and DiNardo, don't you think?
In that order. Right. I like to say that, well...
You were the trendsetter, the first pitch, the 1-0 pitch to Springer's a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, I like to think that maybe my career at Stetson, because I was a pretty darn good college pitcher, maybe that helped recruit these next generation of ball players to go there.
I'm sure that's true. 1 out in this 6th inning. No score. The 1-1 is high in the air into left center field. Does it have enough? It's back at the track at the wall, and it is way out of here. Wow, George Springer lifts off to dead center left of the flagpole, and it is 1-0 Toronto.
You know, when you're in a good old-fashioned show-off right here, which pitcher is going to make the first mistake? Well, there you go right there. This little too much at the plate right there. Springer's been extremely hot. We saw him have multiple hits in yesterday's game. He was pitching around him a lot tonight, but made that mistake over the middle. This is the type of hitter that's going to do damage on those mistakes.
I mean, he's had sort of an up-and-down few years with the Blue Jays, but that dude has a knack for big swings and big moments, and when he gets hot, he's terrifying as Ernie Clement takes a fastball for strike 1.
Yeah, cut fastball. You want that to be on the inner half, and if it's not in, you want it away, kind of back door.
Here's a little blooper to shallow center field. Long run in for Cedon. He will dive and make the play. Holy smokes. Gold Glove D in center for Cedon. 2 nights, 2 brilliant plays, and they're 2 down.
It's unbelievable the plays that this kid is making. You're looking at a Gold Glover. Take it to the bank right now. He holds his own in an outfield where there's already a Gold Glover in right field.
Spectacular. They could win him at all 3 spots. They really could, these Red Sox, as Davis Schneider digs in. And I think the swing right there from Springer, Crochet's been paying attention the last couple of days. He knows that he's the guy to stay away from. That pitch was dropped by Narvaez, but called a strike, and it's 0-1.
You're at the point right now where if you're not feeling the ball, if you feel like you're just a little bit more erratic than usual, you're trying to throw strikes, you're trying to get strike 1, you're trying to get ahead, and oftentimes what that result means is you just leave one over the middle.
0-1 is hard on the ground toward third, backhanded by Bregman. He throws across the diamond, and Romy can't make the pick. A low throw from Bregman. That'll be an error on the Red Sox third baseman. And the inning continues. We will bring you the 4th inning bell, which is brought to you by Russell Hackman and the team at Hackman Wealth Partners, Austin's premium retirement planning specialist with offices in Boston, Wakefield, Waltham, and Hingham.
Ball's not only cold for the pitcher, it's cold for the infielders too. Don't want to make an excuse right there. He had plenty of time to set his feet, and he did. But he just made an error throw a little bit too far down and to the right.
That's his 2nd error of the year. Here now his former teammate Miles Straw, but first Crochet steps off. That hurts because Garrett has thrown 96 pitches, and it feels like this is certainly his final inning of work. Stays out there with 2 down.
Yeah, the 1st and 3rd inning he was up into the mid-20s as far as his pitch count. Every other inning he's been in the teens.
Straw 0 for 2. He takes outside a fastball, and it's 1-0. A little velo drop from Crochet there, 91 miles an hour.
Not sure if he meant to do that or not. I don't think he's probably going to be 95, 96 right here is my guess.
1 on, 2 out, a run in. The pitch is a slider that misses a little bit low. That's the cutter that looks like a slider. It was a ball, and it's 2-0.
We have a lot of pitches these days that kind of are doing the same thing. Yeah. The sweeper came onto the scene pretty recently. We used to call that a slurve.
Well, what makes his cutter so special is it does have that vertical drop like a slider. 2-0 is low, a fastball at 92. And it is 3-0.
Yeah, that 2-plane movement you're talking about, it moves glove side, but also has a lot of depth to it underneath the barrels.
So Springer has homered. An error extended the inning. And Crochet's about to throw his 100th pitch here. Trying to get out of this inning and get the club into the dugout. The pitch is low, ball 4. Well, that is not at all what the Red Sox wanted. I'm sure as Andrew Bailey comes out, someone will soon get up in the Red Sox bullpen.
Not to mention that was a strike. Pitch definitely hit the bottom of the zone right there.
I didn't check the umpire's scorecard last night on Alex Tosi? I'll do that here in a minute, but he seemed to have an atrocious night behind the plate.
It just seemed like it was revolving, right? What you're looking for an umpire. If he's going to call a certain pitch in a certain zone, you'd like for it to be consistent throughout the game, and it just wasn't there. And umpires are going to have bad games too. They're going to be inconsistent. They're human beings, but at this level, you want them to be as consistent with their zone as possible.
That's all anybody asks for. The Bullpen Report is brought to you by Interlock Metal Roofing. Never re-roof again. NewEnglandMetalRoofing.com. I mean, it's unfair to Crochet. You can't win them all, but it does feel doubly important for the Red Sox to win the games that he does start. It's just sort of the life of an ace. 1-0 Jays trying to stem the tide right here. Here's Tyler Heineman. He cannot stop his swing, and a cutter down in under the hands, and it's 0-1.
5 2/3 so far, 1 run. You'd feel like he's given the team a shot to go out there and win this ball game.
It's so hard to come by. Zach Kelly's going to be the first to throw. 0-1. The pitch is on the ground to the right side. Long racing dive from Campbell. Glove spins, throws wide at first, and an error is going to give the Blue Jays another run. That one was yanked off of the Red Sox dugout. Campbell did the hard part, but a defensive meltdown has the Blue Jays ahead 2-0.
A little bit of a rush job right there. Hard and great job going to get this baseball, but you can see that his footwork when he threw the baseball, he was completely wide open. Threw the ball about 6-7 feet toward the right of Romy.
Now they score that an infield hit, and then the runners advance on an error, which I do not agree with at all. I mean, I know it was a hard chance to get over there, but once he was there, an accurate throw would have gotten the runner at first. Here is Alan Roden, a strike on the outside corner. As it is, all the runs from here on unearned because of the error from Bregman.
This is kind of an anomaly so far through this season. Other than today, we've seen a great defense. It's kind of a contrast from last season.
It is. So now second and third really got to stop the bleeding here as a change up to Roden. He is outside 1-1. You got second and third with 2 runs in. Crunch time for Crochet, who's thrown 104 pitches. I think no matter what, this is last hitter. On the pitch, that's up and in. He's just not been as sharp in this inning.
Yeah, you can see the cutter, the sweeper, doesn't have that same break. The fastball down to 91, 92, about 5-6 mile an hour from the first and second inning.
And it's hard to blame him on a night like this. Utterly freezing. The 2-1 is up and in. He almost hit him with a fastball, and it's 3-1. Now the wheels start turning. This gets totally dicey because you got Bo Bichette, who loves this ballpark, on deck. And a huge pitch coming here to Alan Roden. Second and third, 2 runs in. The pitch is outside, ball 4. I'm sure that'll do it for Crochet. And what a spot this is about to be for Zach Kelly. The bases will be loaded. Bo Bichette to hit. Alex Cora taking the gloves off in the dugout. Here he comes with the lineup card and the changes. He'll go to the right-handed reliever, Zach Kelly. So the Blue Jays have 2 in, loaded up, and dicey times at Fenway Park. For the love of a mouth-watering tender roast, hurry to Shaw's and Star Market right now. B5 round roast or bottom round roast, $3.97 a pound when you use the digital coupon. Nice hand for Crochet. He battled tonight. Really just one mistake.
You have a tendency to live life in extreme, Scorpio. So when you want to make changes to your performance, you take it to the max. But this pattern can be hard to maintain, and you might find yourself missing out on lasting results. This is your chance to work on a manageable, consistent routine that will eventually lead you to crushing it on the field.
Here's Betts hitting a fly ball to left center field. Green to the track, to the wall. Gone! Got just enough! And here in the 8th, the Dodgers have just enough. Golf swing left field and turns out the lights. He rings the bell with a 3-run walk-off home run. Gold and blue heaven on earth.
2-2. Hit well. Right field. Kyle Tucker. First homer as a Cub. And they have the lead. It is 3-1. No doubter to right for number 30.
He knows was just a matter of time. And we talk about the irrelevance of spring training statistics and performance. And he really scuffled throughout spring training. But the lights are on. It's time to go, and he's going.
Mackenzie Gore to the mound. Fastball down and in for the strikeout. Down and away. So that's 3 straight and number 5. Oh, that's on the inside edge. 10 strikeouts now.
13 strikeouts. A new national.
5 right here, so if he can hit his spots, you're looking at a guy that's swinging from get-go. If he can get it off the label of the bat, maybe get a ground ball right here and get out of the inning, it'd be great for the Sox.
Crochet threw a career high in pitches. Previously 103, the high watermark, and here is Kelly. What a crossroads in this game. Right here, Bichette digs in. He's singled, walked, and flied to right. The pitch is a strike right there, 92 on the outside half, and it's 0-1.
I think that's the first time I've seen Bichette not swing at the first pitch.
He loves to offer early. 0-1. Pitch is in there. A great fastball again at the bottom of the zone, and it's 0-2. League leaders and who's circling the drain, presented by Drains by James, Eastern Mass's leader in residential and commercial drain cleaning and pipe lining. Bases loaded. 0-2. Kelly to Bichette. Here's the pitch, and Bichette chops it foul on the third base side and out of play.
It's a great 0-2 pitch right there. It's probably 8 inches inside, right off the hands.
What is that set up now?
Well, you can go in again. You can double up, which is probably, he's not thinking that. He's probably thinking breaking ball away right here because he threw that pitch. But I'm always a fan of doubling up when you've got 94 inside, especially on a night like tonight.
See if we can find some kindling. 0-2. Kelly throws, and he goes the other way. A sinker outside. It did miss. Good take by Bichette. And it's 1-2. George Springer, who homered in this inning, has the league's best batting average now, surpassing Wilyer Abreu. And Will Smith of the Dodgers, Fernando Tatis Jr. of the Padres hitting .381. 1-2. Ground ball up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. It will score 2, and it is 4-0 Toronto.
It's a little more of what we've seen a lot of last night. Actually made a pretty good pitch. The ball was just hit to the left, the shortstop. Made a good pitch, got the ball on the ground, just out of reach from the infield.
Well, all these runs unearned, and nobody feels worse about this than Alex Bregman, who made that throwing error, what would have ended the inning with just 1 run in. So a couple inherited runners score. Their unearned runs to Crochet's ledger. Garrett goes 5 2/3 tonight, and not nearly out of trouble yet, because here's Vlad Guerrero Jr. 2 on, 2 out. The pitch is rocketed into right field, but it'll hang up for Refsnyder. 2 his righties there to make the play. Inning is over. Blue Jays bat around. They score 4. Bottom 6 next. 4-0.
That one's driven deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. 3-0 Yankees. High fly ball, left field. Curio back, track, wall. See ya. A grand slam for Aaron Judge. And the Yankees are pouring it on. High fly ball, center field. See ya. 3 home runs for Aaron Judge. They've done it again.
Carson Kelly's had himself quite a night.
Walk, homer, 2 RBI single, and now this 2-base hit.
Carson Kelly, this is his last chance, you would think, at getting a cycle.
Center field, going back, Bleday. It's off the wall. Racing towards second. Go! Here we go! And he's in! Oh, my! We got a cycle!
First cycle since Mark Grace.
2 away, Matt Shaw. Shaw looking for that first big league hit. 0 for 6, 3 Ks so far.
Hits off the glove of Dreyer, and Matt Shaw, that's his first big league hit. Save that baseball. You don't think so?
I don't know. That might be an E1.
Looking up on the scoreboard, there are no errors listed. There it is.
Congratulations on your first big league knock, Matt.
Save that ball for Matt Shaw.
That one stroked deep to left center field. That's way back there. Head of the wall. It is gone. Christian Campbell with his first major league home run. Absolutely. absolutely destroys that one into the bullpen to tie the game 2-2.
1-0, gets one right down the middle. But this one here, he tries to get the ball in the air, and he drives that this kid is strong. Kevin, we talked about the hips, and keeping the hands back, he creates some torque. That thing got out quick.
Now the Red Sox need to get the offense going. They trail now by 4 runs. Easton Lucas continues. Here's Jaron Duran. He takes a strike on the outside corner. I know it's cold. I know it's hard to hit, but you would hope, Lenny, that the third time through the order against a guy with pretty average stuff could benefit the Sox.
I mean, he's getting it done with basically just a fastball. He's sprinkling in a secondary, but it's really the fastball that's been dominating. The reason, because he's locating so well. He's able to go up, down, in and out, and he's not walking anybody. One walk, very economical, 72 pitches after 5 innings. Going right after him.
Another good pitch to Duran. It is 0-2. Last year, the first guy in baseball since 1968 to lead the game in doubles and triples. Lou Brock the last. The 0-2 is chop foul on the first base side. Easy to sort of close your eyes and think of Lou Brock and Bob Gibson and Ozzie Smith, the Red Shane D's, and Stan Musial and all those great Cardinals on the warning track with the Clydesdales on opening day and in the World Series. I know you remember that well in 04. The 0-2 swing and a miss. Duran is struck out, and there's one away in the 6th.
That's just 93 miles an hour right there. I mean, again, nothing really special. But the pitch before that really set it up well. You're thinking 83 miles an hour arm side off the plate, 83 to 93, 10 mile an hour difference right there. Makes it seem like it's about 98.
There's Chad Green warming up in the bullpen. Still just 76 pitches thrown by Lucas. Devers now with one down, the base is empty. He swings and misses. He might have gotten a piece of that. It popped out of the glove of the catcher, and it's 0-1. Code word of the game, hit for the cycle, all bunched up. It's really just an amalgamation of letters. Hit for the cycle. Enter your code letters in the member portal today to claim your points. That Lenny hit for the cycle in high school. 0-1. The pitch is fouled off, and it's 0-2.
I had 5 at-bats in the big leagues, and it's probably one of my proudest moments. It's the ugliest swing in the world, but I got my one hit.
Little duck snort?
It was terrible. It was terrible. Check swing to Barry Bonds in San Francisco, 2007.
No way. 0-2. The pitch is in the dirt. At that time, I think it was probably called Pac Bell Park. It was a summer day in San Francisco. Attaboy.
Right between Barry and Omar Vizquel. If those two guys can't get it, it's a hit.
No doubt.
Tommy Glavine grounded me out, though.
Did he really?
Very proud of that swing.
You got him. His brother does such a great job as the coach at BC, at BU, I should say. The 1-2 pitch is a slider up and in. It's 2-2.
He's a guy that I grew up kind of admiring. Him and Clemens were my guys. I had one righty and one lefty, guys that I kind of wanted to emulate. It's a little bit more like Glavine than Clemens as far as the velocity, though.
2-2 pitch. And Rafi is in there. He takes a slider outside, 3-2. Omar Vizquel is one of my favorite ball players to ever watch. I mean, as slick a shortstop as you could ever have. And
just made it look so easy.
Every play right on time. 3-2 is drilled into right field. That's down for a base hit. Rafi's aboard. Red Sox have only their 3rd hit, and I don't know why I just had a mental cramp. Obviously, Mike Glavine is the head baseball coach at Northeastern. I mean, I could just rattle all the schools in New England off before I get it right. Had a great time talking to Mike and all those Husky folks down at spring training this year.
Will, you don't make many mistakes. You're allowed. It's okay.
It's a cold night for me, too. My brain literally frozen.
Brain freeze.
Here comes John Schneider. He's going to lift the pitcher Lucas here with Bregman due up. They'll go to the right-hander Green. Sox trying to get something started here. They trail 4-0 in the bottom of the 6th, but plenty of time yet to go here for Boston. Lucas did a heck of a job. Blue Jays 4, Red Sox nothing. Pitching change time. Before we do that, we'll tell you that this copyrighted broadcast presented by authority of the Red Sox may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express.
2-away, Matt Shaw. Shaw looking for that first big league hit. 0 for 6, 3 Ks so far.
Hits off the claw of Dreyer, and Matt Shaw, that's his first big league hit, saved that baseball. You don't think so?
I don't know. That might be an E1.
Looking up on the scoreboard, there are no errors listed. There it is.
Congratulations on your first big league knock, Matt.
Save that ball for Matt Shaw. Dodgers up 2-0. And the batter is Tommy Edman. That ball is crushed in the air to left field. Did he get under it, or did he get enough? He got enough! And it's Tommy Tanks with the first home run in Tokyo. Yeah, the first home run of the 25 campaign comes from 25. Well, that was a big-time swing for 2 strikes. Tommy Edman looking like a cleanup man up there.
That one's driven deep to left field. There it goes! See ya! 3-0 Yankees. High fly ball, left field. Curio back, trap, wall. See ya! A grand slam for Aaron Judge. And the Yankees are pouring it on. High fly ball, center field. See ya! 3 home runs for Aaron Judge. They've done it again. Goldschmidt swings at the first pitch and lofts it to left center field and deep. Track, wall, see ya! There's a leadoff hitter, 1-0 Yanks. Bellinger lost one deep to right center. There it goes into the bleachers. See.
Especially if Bregman can get on base here. You might see Abreu come to the plate. Bregman is flied to right, flied to left. 4-0 Blue Jays. Here's the pitch. And it is a strike on the inside corner. Bregman, I'm sure, looking to atone a little bit. His 2-out error sort of set the wheels in motion for 3 more Blue Jay runs. Green last year, 53 appearances, a 3.21 ERA. 0-1. Bregman takes a ball outside, slider, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, pretty atypical for Bregman. Gold Glove caliber third baseman.
He's seen Green 8 times, only 1 hit against him. 1-1 with Raffy at first. Here's the pitch. And it is ripped foul on the first base side. You were talking about your 1 big league hit in San Francisco. This is a little bit of a candlestick night tonight. We got napkins blowing around in the outfield. There's not a chain link fence in the outfield.
I have memories of warming up down the right field line as a bullpen guy, and you're literally 5 feet away from fans yelling at you.
1-2 is swung on and missed. He struck him out with 94 miles an hour. And there are 2 away.
That bullpen, you're facing home plate too, so if you throw one past the catcher, it rolls around.
Everybody's going to know about it.
Yeah. Guess who doesn't have it today?
You better be extra careful there. So Bregman is the Red Sox 9th strikeout of the day. And here comes Rob Refsnyder. He will hit for himself here. Pitch is a strike on the inside corner. What do you think? I mean, I know Alex wants to save guys for maybe potentially bigger spots later in games. And Refsnyder does not play enough. He hasn't hit enough this year. So he's in the cleanup spot. I guess maybe that's part of the calculus here. The napkin is now in front of second base. The 0-1 is outside. And it's 1-1.
And I feel like he's been so good against lefties. His right-handed at-bats have been overshadowed a little bit. He'll put together a good at-bat versus a righty as well. So he's given a little bit of opportunity right here.
You'd love one right here with Trevor Story on deck. 4-0 Blue Jays. 1 on, 2 out. The pitch is swung on and missed. It just must be miserable to hit tonight. That's why those defensive miscues, 2 errors in this top of the 6th, hurt so much because it's just hard to score runs.
Coming off the bench in this weather has to be very, very difficult.
That's another part of it. It's a great point. 1-2. The pitch is high with a fastball.
You're risking a guy if he's not completely warmed up. You know, you see hamstring pulls all the time, calf pulls, something. If you're just a little bit colder than normal, it doesn't take a lot playing this game.
I think it's a really good call. He's just not warm or loose at all. 2-2 to Refsnyder. Raffy not much of a lead at first. The pitch is ripped down the left field line. Fair ball. It's going to bang off the wall. Raffy heads for second. He will hold there. Refsnyder does exactly what Lenny predicted. That's a shot. Kind of a bad break that it hit that wall, but the Red Sox have him at first and second with 2 down.
Remind me to thank him tomorrow for making me look like I know what I'm doing.
He is such an impressive player. No matter what you ask him to do, he seems to deliver most of the time.
I mean, he's a glue guy, too. Good clubhouse guy. Does whatever you ask. And he's got veteran status, right, on a team where there's a lot of youngsters. They can look to him.
So now, here's a big spot for Trevor Story. He's 1 for 3 with a double against this pitcher, Chad Green. 2 on, 2 out. 4-0 Jays. The pitch is fouled back. Trevor was trying to launch right there. Spoils it, and it's 0-1. Candlestick Park, not many people miss it. I mean, their new yard out there, it's not new anymore. It's, 23 years old. Is a true beauty. But it had some wonderful eccentricities, did Candlestick Park. Not only the wind howling, the hot dog wrappers all over the place. The 0-1 is outside. It was so cold there. I mean, the Mark Twain line, the coldest winter I ever spent was summer in San Francisco. It really does ring true. And if you stayed through a game where the temperature dropped below 40 degrees, they gave you a little pin called a quad candlestick. 1-1 is swung on and missed, a slider, and it is 1-2.
I can't remember if Keith Falk played there or not. I seem to recall he might have had a little bit of time there when he was with the Giants, but yeah, there's a reason why they built the new park.
Yes. Classic stories. They surveyed the area, and they just picked the wrong day. They felt like that was going to be a place with little wind in San Francisco. It did not quite pan out that way. 1-2 to Trevor Story. 4-0 Blue Jays. 2 on, 2 out. Chad Green is ready. He throws. Trevor takes outside a slider, and it's 2-2. Rafi's got to be a little bit careful here. I mean, he wants to score on anything. Into the outfield with 2 outs. He is really dancing around at second, getting a huge secondary lead.
And last night we saw a pickoff move. You're getting your sign, and right before you come up and make the set position, they actually made a pickoff.
Here's a high pop-up on the right side of the infield. Vlad Guerrero, the first baseman, is having a tough time, but in the end he battles the wind and makes the play, and that ends the threat. We go to the 7th inning, 4-0 Blue Jays, and the Shaws.
That one's driven deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. 3-0 Yankees. High fly ball, left field. Curio back, track, wall. See ya. A grand slam for Aaron Judge. And the Yankees are pouring it on. High fly ball, center field. See ya. 3 home runs for Aaron Judge. They've done it again.
Mackenzie Gore to the mound. Fastball down and in for the strikeout. Down and away. So that's 3 straight and number 5. Oh, that's on the inside edge. 10 strikeouts now.
13 strikeouts. A new Nationals opening day record for Mackenzie Gore. He'll depart the mound to a standing ovation to the first base side. 6 one-hit shutout innings for Gore against the Phillies. That one stroked deep to left center field. That's way back there. Head of the wall. It is gone. Christian Campbell with his first major league home run. Absolutely destroys that one into the bullpen to tie the game 2-2.
1-0, gets one right down the middle. But this one here, he tries to get the ball in the air, and he drives it. This kid is strong. Kev, we talked about the hips and keeping the hands back. He creates some torque. That thing got out quick.
Please welcome 2025 National Baseball Hall of Famer, number 51, Ichiro Suzuki. Wow. Great pitch, Ichiro. And congratulations on your well-deserved induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. We cannot wait to celebrate you all season long.
He's Santander. In the top of the 7th. It's 4-0 Blue Jays. We should have a quad Fenway tonight for these brave souls who have hung around. It is utterly frigid as Santander. Pops the first pitch back. Narvaez will give it a look, but I think that's in the seats. It is, and that's strike 1. Arbella Insurance Foundation, dedicated to striking out cancer by supporting the Jimmy Fund. Every strikeout from a Red Sox pitcher during the season, Arbella donates $50 to the Jimmy Fund. They're here for the Jimmy Fund. And here for good. I was talking to Garrett Whitlock about his great work with the Jimmy Fund a couple of days ago. 0-1 to Santander. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Really good chain. And it's 0-2. Apparently the players we're going to not really visit as often until cold and flu season go away, and then they'll be over there all the time. He's such a perfect representative for this club.
He really is. What just an outstanding individual he is. 0-2
to Santander. Red Sox have a lot of them, but he is at the top of the heap for that. Had a good start in the top of the 7th.
Garrett holds a special place for me. He's another Rule 5 guy, too. We tend to stick together. We have meetings every other week.
Santander was a Rule 5 guy for the Orioles from the Houston Astros. That's good timing there. Here's George Springer, UConn star, then longtime Astro, huge free agent deal with the Blue Jays, and he put them ahead tonight.
Guy that's seeing watermelons right now as well.
He absolutely is. He's walked and homered and struck out. He takes a strike from Kelly on a sweeper. It's on one. What a different kind of pressure, Lenny, that is. On the one hand, as a Rule 5 pick, you're going to be on the big league club. It gives you a little extra security, particularly as a pitcher. The 0-1 is rocketed into left center field. That's a base hit. Duran and Cedon come together, and Rafael is there to make the play to hold Springer to a single. What was your mindset the first time in 04 as a Rule 5 ad?
It was to keep my mouth shut, my eyes open, listen to everything I possibly could. You know, it was 21 years ago now. And that was a time where, you know what, you're carrying beer for veterans. They've got you singing your fight song and the national anthem at the head of the bus where the driver is. I had to wear a Hooters outfit from Toronto to Tampa.
Now
Hazing
that's
was
something, I don't know if I'd actually like to see it. Here's Ernie Clement. Runner goes, pitch is swung on and foul. That's an old school hit and run right there for the Blue Jays. Strike one.
Yeah, it was, and I was glad to do it. I was happy to be in a big league uniform. The previous year in 2003, I was in the Mets organization pitching an A-ball, and I had a month of Double-A pitching in front of hot dog vendors and girlfriends, basically. And the next year, you're in Fenway Park. So it was eye-opening. I learned so much. Couldn't have asked for a better group of veterans to kind of learn the trade from.
You talked about how Tim Wakefield in some ways took you under his wing when you were a rookie. 0-1 to Clement. The pitch is outside. But I have heard a lot of stories from a lot of his teammates that to rookies, he was a little bit different. There was kind of a fine line with Wakey.
Yeah, and it's how he came up as a rookie. When he came up with the Pirates, there were certain guys that back then that were veterans that would...
1-1 is skied into deep left field. Back on it, Duran right in front of the scoreboard. He is there to make the play. Top spinning fly, and they're 2 down.
And that's just how it was back in the day. You know, you got to earn your stripes, so to speak, and if you started acting a certain way, if you sat on the couch or took the remote as a rookie, he would look at you and say, hey, man, you got to get a little bit more dirt in your spikes before you start doing that, right? And as a rookie, you don't appreciate the father figure in the clubhouse, but as a 45-year-old now, I kind of look back and appreciate the lessons and everything that I learned from him, as well as the other veterans at the time.
Well, there are not many days I come here and don't think about Wake. What a wonderful gentleman. He and Stacy lost way too soon, too close together. We think about Trav and Bree all the time. 2 outs, runner at first. The pitch is fouled off on the third base side.
And speaking of the Jimmy Fund, I mean, Bree going to the Jimmy Fund, kind of following the footsteps of Tim and Stacy. It's hard not to get emotional when you see the work that she's continuing to do and to be a part of, you know, different things that she's associated with. She went to Mike Timlin's ALS run for his mom this past year.
Totally unsurprising. 0-1 is a real troubling line drive down the line, but it is foul off the bat of Andres Jimenez, a pinch hitter here for Davis Schneider. And it is 0-2. Baseball is such a funny game, and it's passed on from fathers and grandfathers to sons. And I mean, I obviously remember not only watching games, but listening to them on the radio. I mean, I vividly remember being a 13-year-old kid listening to Wakefield pitch in that 92 NLCS. Here's a ground ball on the right side. Campbell backhands, he flips to the second base bag, and the inning is over. Stretch time at Fenway Park.
Meisner gets into this one, a long drive deep to right. That baby's gone! Home run, and the Rays win it 3-2. Cameron Meisner jumped on the first pitch, his first career home run. Meisner has ended this one in dramatic fashion. First pitch, bottom of the ninth, a walk-off home run. The pride of Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Cameron Meisner.
To mourn the loss of an athletics legend and one of the greatest players in Major League Baseball history, Rickey Henderson. Today, we honor his memory with his number 24 on our backs, all season long with his number 24 on our sleeves, and forever, his legacy in our hearts. Now, please join us in a 24-second moment of silence for the late, great Rickey Henderson.
One. That's it well, right center field, into the gap. Page's back, he can't make the catch. It'll one off the wall. Dansby scores, Amaya to second. Cubs lead 1-0 here in the second. It's just keep on coming for Miguel Amaya. Big knock.
Well, tries to beat him with a fastball upstairs. It's a real nice, powerful swing. Head rate on it, gets good extension.
Yariel Rodriguez, the right-hander, is on for the Blue Jays. They lead 4-0 in the bottom of the seventh. On the Subaru of New England scoreboard, the Yankees fell earlier today in Detroit. Final score there, 5-0. Rays lead 2-0, rather trail 2-0. They're hosting the Angels this evening. Baltimore, a little bit later tonight in Arizona. Little love goes a long way in the 25 Forester Hybrid. Here's Christian Campbell, who takes a strike on the outside corner. Fastball, and it's 0-1. But, I mean, I can close my eyes right now, Lenny, and think back to 1992. Teenager at the time. I can remember quite literally the room I was sleeping in with the radio on, listening to Wakefield in Game 6 of that NLCS with the Pirates and the Braves. The 0-1 to Campbell is ripped into center field. It looks like it'll hang up, though. It is going to be caught on the run in center. I mean, Campbell barrels it up, but he is retired. And a catch by Straw, one away.
It really is an amazing story. You know, he was a really good hitter in college, into the minor leagues, and then finally he's going to get released. Someone lets him know that, listen, you're almost done, right? And he finds the wherewithal to throw a knuckleball and then have a career so long.
Brilliant career as a pitcher, and what a tough competitor he was here. The pitch to Romy is outside from Yariel Rodriguez, 1-0. 4-0 Blue Jays in the seventh inning. And you think about all the bullets he took for the Red Sox. He gave up the homer to Aaron Boone after pitching brilliantly that day. The 1-0, swing and a miss at a slider. And then in the 0-4 playoffs, before the comeback began, I mean, he was supposed to start Game 4, but he took so many innings out of the bullpen, and I think in a lot of ways there's a comparison to Nate Eovaldi in 18, sort of saving the club there.
Talk about a guy that would just do whatever they asked.
1-1 is ripped down the left field line. Stay fair. It did. Bangs off the CVS sign. Romy bangs around first. He's into second. Gonzalez has hit it hard tonight, and he's in scoring position with one away in the seventh. That was my inner Hawk Harrelson coming out. Stay fair. It did.
Willed it.
And now, here's the spot they'll use Abreu for. So that's more of the Cora calculus, where he wants to get lesser hitters in the bottom of the order out of the lineup. So Willier will bat here with one out in the seventh inning. That means Blake Sabol will make his Red Sox debut when we get to the eighth.
It's a lot of opportunity last inning. Really couldn't get it done. Now we have another one right here. You want to make the most of the situation. You've got a reliever in the ball game. You're obviously seeing it so far better than the starter. Lucas was outstanding tonight. So, you got to take advantage of this opportunity. You're running out of time.
Well, this is one where it's one and done for Abreu. I mean, he will hit, and that'll be it for him. They got the lefty in the bullpen do the Toronto Blue Jays, because obviously after this you got Cedon, but then Duran and Devers, a couple left-handers. So this right-hander Rodriguez will face Abreu. He has to, and then he'll stay in for Cedon. And likely that'll be it. Here we go. Abreu's been so hot to start this season. He was 0 for last night, but hard to blame him given the conditions. 424, 3 homers and 12 driven in. Boy, could this club and this ballpark right now use a little bolt.
We talk about the slow heartbeat. Prototypical example right here.
He embodies it. The pitch is on a loop to shortstop, caught by Bichette. He got jammed a little bit there, did Abreu. Touch over anxious. Good pitch by Rodriguez, and they're 2 away.
Pitch in great location right there. That did not feel good off the hands right there.
It's so hard to come in cold and pinch hit, in spite of what Romy and Refsnyder so often do. Stay tuned after the game for the Nissan post-game show. You deserve a car that thrills you. Nissan's got an exciting full lineup. Put goosebumps on your goosebumps. Here's Cedon. 2 down. Romy at second. The pitch is fouled back. Man, he took a big rip on a really well-located fastball in on the hands, and it's 0-1.
Well located in 96 miles an hour.
Go get him.
Good luck.
Cedon has singled and flied to right. 0-1. Rodriguez sets. He throws, and Cedon takes way high a fastball. And it's 1-1. You just sort of feel like if the Red Sox could scratch one across, or even 2 here in the 7th, put a little pressure on the Blue Jays, that would make an enormous difference.
Just a little bit of momentum. There's been 0 momentum offensively.
Duran is out on deck. 1-1. Pitch is pop foul on the first base side. It's amazing, Lenny, given what happened here over the weekend. I mean, the Red Sox get the walk-off win in Game 1 of the doubleheader, and then they put up 18 runs in Game 2. But conditions and good pitching have sort of silenced the offense.
And you can't give a big league team, more than 27 outs at the end of the day.
They've done that tonight. 1-2 to Cedon. Here's the pitch, and it is in the dirt. And that is really, to this point, the story of the game. Springer gets Crochet, a bomb to center field, but 3 unearned runs. This would feel so different were it not for poor infield defense.
And it's been a lot better this year. Hopefully that's just an anomaly, and we make the routine plays. We've seen a outstanding defense, more double plays turned than any other team in the league.
So here's Cedon, 2-2 to him. Romy runs so well, he leads at second. Outfield shaded toward the triangle in right center. 2-2 is just low and in. That's a great take from Rafaela. He's an aggressive hitter, and he was very patient there.
When he first came up to the big leagues, we noticed right away that the tools are there. That was the one thing that he needed to work on. Strike zone awareness.
3-2. Romy at second. Rodriguez is ready. He throws. Cedon swings and grounds one on a hop towards second. It is off the glove of Schneider into the outfield. The Red Sox are on the board. It's an infield hit for Cedon, and it is 4-1.
There's your momentum right there. You got to roll with that. Continue to put the ball and bat together. Good things will happen.
So Romy and Rafaela trigger a little rally, and they got the left-hander up. You'd have to figure John Schneider's going to come out here. And he does. Blue Jays will go to the bullpen. Duran has a chance to make this thing really interesting. For the love of a mouth-watering tender roast, hurry to Shaw's and Star Market right now. B5 round roast or bottom round roast, $3.97 a pound when you use the digital coupon. Duran coming up. 4-1 Jays in the bottom of the 7th. Little, the lefty, coming on after this on the Shaw's and Star Market, WEEI.
That one stroked deep to left center field. That's way back there. Head of the wall. It is gone. Christian Campbell with his first major league home run. Absolutely destroys that one into the bullpen to tie the game 2-2.
1-0, gets one right down the middle. But this one here, he tries to get the ball in the air, and he drives that this kid is strong. Kev, we talked about the hips, and keeping the hands back. He creates some torque. That thing got out quick.
Austin Wells is the first Yankee catcher to hit leadoff in a lineup in their franchise history. That is ripped into right, back at the wall. See ya! Home run! What a start! Yankees on top 1-0.
A 2-0 pitch that's up middle of the plate, and you're going to see him get on top of this ball and then get it in the air. And this is Yankee Stadium. It's short out there. That might be a double in most ballparks, but it's a home run here.
Max Muncy in the air. Max Muncy traveling back towards the wall. See you later. How about your first big league hit as a homer? 6-0 A's, and Max Muncy, we got to get you that ball back.
Atta boy. Well, Max Muncy, Jenny, he's been hungry for that first one.
Not one person made eye contact. Now they're going to come for him.
To mourn the loss of an athletics legend and one of the greatest players in Major League Baseball history, Rickey Henderson. Today, we honor his memory with his number 24 on our backs, all season long with his number.
And your point, Lenny, is a good one, which is on a night like this, it is quite literally he's cold. He's not normally this sort of tight coming onto the mound.
Even we've seen the starters take just a little bit of time in the past couple games to get loose, to get that sweat and actually feel where this ball is coming off their fingers. So, again, if you're cold, let him be cold. Let him be cold.
Runner at first, Cedon might be thinking about it, even with the lefty on the mound, as Duran takes one in the dirt, and Cedon will race to second. That one off the netting, and Cedon will hold at second. In some ways, I think that's a bad break for the Red Sox. That thing might have ridden up the netting, and Cedon could have found himself at third. As it is, a totally wild pitch, sort of on cue, Lenny. Little is a rattled pitcher to start.
He's young. He's pitching in Fenway Park in conditions like this.
1-0 to Duran. That was much better. Fastball. I mean, that was middle, but you understand Duran taking it, and it's 1-1. Duran has walked and twice struck out. 4-1 Blue Jays in the bottom of the seventh. Rafaela can fly. He's at second. The pitch is swung on and missed. He pulled off that a little bit. That was a fastball beneath the zone, and it's 1-2.
Now you're 1-2. Now you have to protect. Before 0-0-1-1. Anything close now.
1-2. The pitch is a check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. He's rung up by the home plate umpire, Ron Culpa, and Duran is struck out. Inning over. The Red Sox do get a run. We go to the eighth inning. 4-1 Jays, and the Shaws in Star Market. WEEI Red.
Mackenzie Gore to the mound. Fastball down and in for the strikeout. Down and away. So that's 3 straight and number 5. Oh, that's on the inside edge. 10 strikeouts now.
13 strikeouts. A new Nationals opening day record for Mackenzie Gore. He'll depart the mound to a standing ovation to the first base side. 6 one-hit shutout innings for Gore against the Phillies.
O'Neill drives one the other way. That's headed out toward right field. He's done it again! The unstoppable opening day machine! Tyler O'Neill has homered for a 6th consecutive year on opening day. This time, he does it in his home country.
Look out in Burnaby Bay.
Right center field. It is off the wall. To second goes Ohtani. To home goes Ohtani. It was a home run. And the question is, without the fans, would have it been a home run?
After review, they're calling the field stands. Home run.
Yeah, like I said, an absolute tank.
He's on for the first time in a big league game for the Red Sox. Longtime San Francisco Giant farmhand. Plenty of time in the show. Here's Miles Straw, right-handed hitter against Kelly. 4-1 Blue Jays. The pitch is a little bit outside, cut fastball, and it's 1-0.
Kelly's got to continue to go out there and throw strikes, get this offense back in the dugout. Hopefully continue some momentum.
Yeah, the last couple of innings, they have had a lot of chances. 1-0. The pitch is a strike on the outside corner. You wonder what Craig Breslow's thinking about in the front office with Wong down. They call him week to week with this small fracture in his left pinky. I mean, they brought over Sable. They got Sebi Zavala still down at AAA. 1-1. The pitch is looped into right field. That's a base hit. Miles Straw just kind of went inside out there and ripped it into the outfield. And he's got a leadoff hit here in the 8th.
Yeah, that swing was basically just trying to make contact and drive it the other way, taking what he was given.
Now, here's the main issue with Sable, and that is Straw's a veteran. He's not as fast as he once was, but he does not throw well, Sable. And in the minor leagues this year, 15 for 15 on stolen base attempts.
Which means Kelly has to be that much quicker to home plate. Really has to cut down on the time it takes from first movement to the ball hitting the mitt to give him any semblance of a chance to throw him out.
So, 1 on, none out. Straw held over there at first by Gonzalez. Bregman in at third. The pitch is way high and a fastball by Heineman. When you're thinking about that, can it alter and sort of influence your release and your stuff on the mound?
Well, you practice it enough in the bullpen, right? You put yourself in a scenario. You visualize, okay, this is what I have to do in certain scenarios.
So you will game that out and practice those specific spots.
Yeah, typically at the end of bullpens, at least when I was playing, we would throw 4 or 5 slide steps just to kind of time it out to make sure you're where you need to be.
2-0 after a violation on Kelly. Runner at first. The pitch is way outside a changeup, and it is 3-0. Last year, Straw limited to 7 major league games. He stole only 2 bases, but in 23 with the Guardians, played in 147 games and stole 20 bags. 3 balls and no strikes to Tyler Heineman batting lefty against Kelly. The pitch is ball 4. It just cannot happen. And there are 2 on with nobody out here in the 8th.
One of the issues that you run into with the pitch clock is prior to the pitch clock, you could sit there and vary your times even more. You could come set pitcher and take all the time you need, but now with the pitch clock, the runner knows that you're limited in the amount of time you have to start within a 1-2 second period, depending on what the clock says.
It does give the runners an edge, kind of like they're in the starter's blocks. I say that can't happen. It can on a night like tonight. I mean, it's just so tough out there. Kelly has been filling up the strike zone, and who knows, maybe the impact of the runner at first really sped him up a little bit. 4 misses, and now 2 on with nobody out. You got to be thinking bunt here with Alan Roden.
You're absolutely right, though. When you speed up your body, a lot of times the arm lags and it affects your release point.
No even hint of a bunt. Roden takes strike 1 on a cutter on the inside corner, 0-1. A 1-hopper on the middle infield. 4-1 Blue Jays. 2 on, nobody out. Pitch, swing and a miss. Really good changeup by Kelly, and it's 0-2. Activity begins in the Red Sox bullpen. It might be Josh Winkowski, I would imagine. Particularly if this game gets out of hand, that's his role. 0-2. Kelly throws, and he misses with a fastball, 1-2.
Just inconsistent with the release point right now. This is what speed on the bases, this is what base runners in general do to pitchers. You start to get out of your comfort zone, you start to move quickly, you start to use that release point.
It is Wink in the pen. 1-2 pitch. That's a changeup low. Kelly's now thrown 28 pitches. Stay tuned after the game for the Nissan post-game show. You deserve a card that thrills you. Nissan's got an exciting full line that'll put goosebumps on your goosebumps. Now this is in danger of getting out of hand here because you got 2 on, nobody out. The big hitters for the Blue Jays looming. 2-2 to Roden. Pitch ripped on the right side, foul outside of first. He might have broken his bat there. Outside the chalk, it stays 2-2. Well, let's take 10 seconds for station ID on the Shaw's N-Star Market, WEEI Red Sox Radio Network.
From the WEEI studios, 93.7 WEEI FM and HD1, Lawrence, Boston. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Will Fleming and Lenny DiNardo at Fenway Park. Frigid night. Kelly spikes the rosin bag. Roden gets a new bat. 4-1. Bregman's throwing error changed this entire game. I mean, 3 unearned runs, the difference in this game for now.
Can't give a big league team more than 27 outs. You got to be able to make the routine plays. Was able to set his feet, just make it error and throw.
2-2 is way high, a fastball, and it's 3-2 with Bichette on deck. I mean, that was eerily reminiscent of a year ago, Lenny, where the infield defense really let the Red Sox down. They've turned all these double plays. It's been better, but now Bregman with 3 errors. The payoff pitch is a soft ground ball foul outside of first.
It really does affect the pitcher's mentality, too. When you have really, I'm not saying that's happening now, but when a pitcher doesn't have confidence in the field behind him, he starts pitching differently. You start staying away from contact. You start getting behind hitters because you're not going strike one consistently.
3 balls, 2 strikes. I think fans will see that when they watch the Netflix series, The Clubhouse, especially from Brian Bayo, contact ground ball pitcher, and he got really kind of spooked last year. 3-2 is a strike on the outside corner, change up, ring him up. Well, that's a big pitch for Kelly to keep the Red Sox where they are. So 1 down, not out of it yet, because here's Bo Bichette.
With that strikeout, you're 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning, and you have to have that mentality. You want to get dirty right here, use your movement, use your change of speeds to get the ball on the ground, especially against a guy that's very, very swing happy.
Well, he has had a great night at the plate, and really, don't you think, Lenny, you're a guy who spent your career watching hitters. This swing is one to stay away from right now.
Yeah, you have to be extremely careful. If you leave one over the middle, that's where he's going to do his damage.
2 on, 1 out. Bo Bichette is in. Kelly throws. And Bo takes a strike. That's a perfect pitch. Sweeper at the bottom of the zone, 0-1.
That was nasty. That had a lot of movement. Started right on his left knee and went right down the middle, right at the bottom of the zone. Couldn't have thrown a better pitch right there for pitch number 1.
Just what he was looking to do. 0-1. Campbell trying to keep the runner close at second. The 1-strike pitch. A little bit low. 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 1-1.
When you throw a little sweeper like that starts inside, oftentimes you'll see a fastball coming out of that same tunnel, a 2-seamer that stays inside rather than moving glove side.
1 ball, 1 strike. First and second with 1 out in this 8th inning. Kelly throws, and that's just low. Sweeper again. Danger time now. Hitters count to Bichette, 2-1.
He's being very, very careful right now, as he should.
Bo Bichette has just been fabulous in this ballpark. 2-1. Danger pitch. Here it is. And it is ripped on a line into left field. That's a base hit over the leap of Story. They're going to send the runner from third. Duran's throw is up the line, not in time. Sliding in is Straw, and it is 5-1 Blue Jays.
Little cut fastball, bottom of the zone right there. This is a guy, the great bat-to-ball skills. He's able to go and get that, especially after he saw a first pitch of the at-bat right in the same location. That cutter doesn't quite have the same amount of movement. He was able to get the barrel to it.
And now Alex Cora, with a 4-run deficit, is going to save Zach Kelly's arm. He will go to Winkowski, 5-1 Blue Jays. And Wink will have to face Vladdy when we return in the 8th on the Shaw's and Star Market WEEI Red Sox Radio Network.
During this call,
2 away, Matt Shaw. Shaw looking for that first big league hit. 0 for 6, 3 Ks so far.
Hits off the glove of Dreyer, and Matt Shaw, that's his first big league hit, saved that baseball. You don't think so?
I don't know. That might be an E1.
Looking up on the scoreboard, there are no errors listed. There it is.
Congratulations on your first big league knock, Matt.
Save that ball for Matt Shaw.
Two. Hit well. Right field. Kyle Tucker. First homer as a Cub. And they have the lead. It is 3-1. No doubter to right for number 30.
It was just a matter of time, and we talk about the irrelevance of spring training statistics and performance, and he really scuffled throughout spring training, but the lights are on, it's time to go, and he's going.
O'Neill drives one the other way. That's headed out toward right field. He's done it again! The unstoppable opening day machine! Tyler O'Neill has homered for a 6th consecutive year on opening day. This time, he does it in his home country.
look out in Burnet Bay.
Austin Wells is the first Yankee catcher to hit leadoff in a lineup in their franchise history. That is ripped into right. Back at the wall. See ya! Home run! What a start.
Guerrero apparently needs to pass the physical back in Toronto to sign his 14-year, $500 million extension. And Bichette is now sort of next in line.
Don't they have physicals in spring training?
Honestly.
I always did.
Now, I have to tell you, if I own the club for $500 million, I might want to take one more look.
Yeah, that's just quick peek. You never know.
Speaking of, here is Vladdy. Josh Winkowski. 6 innings down at AAA with 9 strikeouts down there. Did not have a great year in the big leagues with the Sox in 24. Here is Vladdy, and he gets drilled. A fastball nowhere close. Slipped out of his hand. And now the bases are loaded with 1 out.
Again, this is what happens when you come out of the bullpen. Oftentimes, you just don't have the feel for a baseball in this weather.
Last year with the Sox, 40 appearances, a 4.14 ERA. But Winkowski, 10 home runs in 76 innings.
And this is the guy you have to be careful with when, in regards to home runs. He has the capability for sure.
Yeah, Santander comes to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. The Blue Jays already leading at 5-1. Winkowski sets, he throws, and a chopper foul on the first base side. It is 0-1.
Alex mentioned in the pregame show, Winkowski is typically an east-west guy. Now he's trying to mix in a little more north-south into his repertoire as well.
They have tweaked his arsenal so often. He's been a starter, he's been a reliever, the 0-1, down and in, a changeup. And it is 1-1. And Cora said, just be you. Get out and you'll hang around for a while. Do not try to do too much.
And he's got the stuff to go out there and compete the big league level in any role, really. He's got a good power fastball. He has movement. When he locates his changeup effectively, it's a swing and miss pitch.
1 ball, 1 strike. Loaded up for the Jays. The pitch is ripped on the ground towards second. Nice gloving stop by Campbell. He spins and throws to first in time to make the play. Coming home to score is Heineman. It is 6-1 Toronto, but Campbell showing really impressive range tonight at second.
That was similar to the play where he threw it wide right. He had a little bit more time there, was able to set his feet, gather himself, and make that good throw to first base.
He just has not played a lot there, so you would imagine he needs time to develop sort of that muscle memory, the internal clock.
Exactly. The more reps he gets.
Here's the terrifying George Springer. Grounds the first pitch to his former teammate Bregman. He backhands and throws right on the money to first in time. The inning is over, but 2 more in for the Jays. Sweet Caroline, not so sweet.
Carson Kelly's had himself quite a night.
Walk, homer, 2 RBI single, and now this 2-base hit.
Carson Kelly, this is his last chance, you would think, at getting a cycle.
Center field, going back, Bleday. It's off the wall. Racing towards second. Go! There we go! And he's in! Oh, my! We got a cycle!
First cycle since Mark Grace.
To mourn the loss of an athletics legend and one of the greatest players in Major League Baseball history, Rickey Henderson. Today, we honor his memory with his number 24 on our backs, all season long with his number 24 on our sleeves, and forever, his legacy in our hearts. Now, please join us in a 24-second moment of silence for the late, great Rickey Henderson.
Goldschmidt swings at the first pitch and lofts it to left center field and deep. Track, wall, see ya! There's a leadoff hitter, 1-0 Yanks. Bellinger lost one deep to right center. There it goes into the bleachers. See ya! Back to back. That one's driven deep to left field. There it goes! See ya! Back to back to back. 3-0 Yankees.
I want to ask you about food. What is something that you have to eat to be the judge?
Oh, Aaron Judge! Send him to Monument Park now!
Are we
We got some good chefs in New York. They've been cooking up some nice chopped cheeses, and that kind of it gets you. Yeah, I don't know if I should tell the kids that they should be eating chopped cheese before a game.
Before the game, probably steak. That's usually what I go to.
I like a steak, no vegetables.
No vegetables?
No vegetables.
No, is it straight protein?
Yeah.
The Blue Jays are going to go to their bullpen. One more time, another lefty, Mason Fluharty, F-L-U-H-R-T-Y. And you'll see Raffy as the Sox trail by 5 going to the bottom of the 8th inning. A frustrating defensive night. Errors at 3rd and 2nd. 2 more cracks at the plate. Starts with Devers, Bregman, and then Refsnyder here in this 8th inning. Raffy takes outside a fastball, and it is 1-0.
His last at-bat in the 6th inning put a good swing on it. Nice line drive into right center field. See if you can put that same swing on something right here.
Fluharty's ready. He throws, and Raffy takes a ball outside. The pronunciation guide for the Blue Jays. This guy, F-L-U-H-A-R-T-Y. It says flu, like a bird flew, and then dash Hardy, like Hardy Boys.
Okay.
Fluharty.
Do DiNardo in Boston.
2-0 is fouled off on the third base side. Let's see. D-A-H-N-A-H-D-O-H.
Da, na, do.
Lenny's pretty easy.
Lindog.
Donato. The 2-1. Raffy rips one on the ground to short. It is backhanded awkwardly by Bichette. Plants and throws wide of the bag at first, and Devers will be safe. I mean, Bo Bichette can get tied up there at shortstop. He's made so many errors in his career. He had a lot more time than he thought there. That was a rocket by Devers, and he's aboard to begin the 8th.
Well, you can see he was on his heels on that play. He kind of caught it, went onto his heels, and was off balance throwing it.
Kind of stabbed at it too.
It almost looks like it broke away from him. He had to stab, like you said, just at the last second.
I think they have to score that an error. We'll see. They do. And here's Bregman. Maybe the door cracks open for the Sox. Bregman takes a strike on the inside corner. And truthfully, Alex's defensive miscue, the biggest play of this game.
In the past 2 games, we've seen this Blue Jays team take advantage of every mistake that the Red Sox has made. It's their turn right now.
No doubt about that. The 0-1 to Bregman is inside, almost hit him. Taken for a ball, and it's 1-1.
If there's any sort of mistake, you have to be able to go out there and take advantage of it, especially in a situation right now where you're running out of time.
You need base runners. There's a huge hole on the right side of the infield to pitch. He is a strike, a sweeper. And it is now 1-2. Look, we know that Bregman's got such a great Fenway swing. He's pull happy. He launches balls here. But this is not necessarily the time to think about only going deep to left.
Don't be afraid to cut down the swing, drive it the other way behind the runner.
I mean, really, there's the Grand Canyon on the right side. The 1-2 is grounded foul on the third base side. Now that was a cutter in on the hands. That's more pitch than plan. And it stays 1-2.
That's really all you can do with that pitch, right? Facing Gary Sheffield, because he had the quickest hands in the league. Every time I would face him, I'm throwing him 8 inches off the plate inside, hoping he fouls 2 off, and then just say a prayer after that.
I don't blame you. 1-2 with Devers at first, leading off the 8th. 6-1 Blue Jays. Pitch. Bregman takes strike 3 on the outside corner. Maybe a little bit off, but he is rung up. And there's one away on the Subaru of New England scoreboard. Yankees fell earlier today in Detroit. Final score there was 5-0. That was a Tarek Skubal start. Twins and Royals tied at 1 in the 5th. The Rays have scored 3 to lead the Angels 3-2 after 7. Rob Refsnyder into the right-handed batter's box. The pitch is a strike on the outside corner. What was it like standing on a mound as Gary would waggle and point the barrel of the bat right at you?
To be honest, I tried not to look at him or any other player. You just kind of concentrate on the glove, and honestly, the mentality is to go through the glove. If you think too much about everything around the glove, then you start to lose focus.
1 on, 1 out. Refsnyder drives one foul. down the right field line. I mean, I would not have looked at Sheffield either, because it seems to me that in his era, he was probably about the scariest right-handed hitter other than the Blue Jays first baseman's dad.
Yeah, that's the only guy right there. I mean, because you could throw a ball anywhere and he could get to it, right? And Sheffield, he's another example that the quickest hands, he could get to anything inside.
0-2 to ref is a ground ball to third, could be 2 to second for 1. Relay to first is in time. Double play, and the inning is over. The Red Sox do not cash in the error. We go to the ninth inning, 6-1, Jays lead.
Max Muncy in the air. Max Muncy traveling back towards the wall. See you later. How about your first big league hit as a homer? 6-0 A's, and Max Muncy, we got to get you that ball back.
Atta boy. Well, Max Muncy, Jenny, he's been hungry for that first one.
Not one person made eye contact. Now they're going to come for him.
That one stroked deep to left center field. That's way back there. Head of the wall. It is gone. Christian Campbell with his first major league home run. Absolutely destroys that one into the bullpen to tie the game 2-2.
1-0, gets one right down the middle. But this one here, he tries to get the ball in the air, and he drives that this kid is strong. Kev, we talked about the hips, and keeping the hands back. He creates some torque. That thing got out quick.
Dodgers up 2-0. And the batter is Tommy Edman. That ball is crushed in the air to left field. Did he get under it, or did he get enough? He got enough. And it's Tommy Tanks with the first home run in Tokyo. Yeah, the first home run of the 25 campaign comes from 25. Well, that was a big-time swing for 2 strikes. Tommy Edman looking like a cleanup man up there. There's an absolute tank. Right center field. It is off the wall. To second goes Ohtani. To home goes Ohtani. It was a home run. And the question is, without the fans, would have it been a home run?
After review, they're calling the field stands. Home run.
Yeah, like I said, an absolute tank.
Continues in the game as we go to the top of the ninth. It is the Tundra here at Fenway. First pitch to Ernie Clement, a foul ball and a cutter. And it is 0-1. Look, it's the big leagues, Lenny. It sounds homerish to say this, but the conditions to me are the true story of these 2 days. The 0-1 is a little low. Now, the Blue Jays have handled him. Barrios was really good at it last night. The Jays have gotten big hits from Springer, so it's not trying to make excuses, but these are such hard games to play for the Red Sox. The 1-1 is a strike on the outside corner.
It's really a battle of who's going to make the least amount of mistakes, and if a team makes a mistake, are you going to take advantage of it? And I feel like that's the story of the last 2 games.
Yeah, the Hamilton pickoff last night, the Bregman error tonight. 1-2 is in the dirt. Sable, the catcher. Tomorrow, Tanner Houck, what an important start that is for him. I mean, it starts tomorrow at 6:45. Kevin Gossman has been great against the Red Sox. It feels like a critical outing for Tanner Houck.
Yeah, coming off an all-star season, struggling a little bit in spring training, trying to find his footing right now currently.
Here's a high fly foul down the left field line that'll make the seats.
He's a guy that's got a good fastball, but he uses his sweeper so much. He uses the movement, and it's kind of the Andrew Bailey effect, right? There's not as many fastballs from these pitchers on the Red Sox. You're trying to use the movement and the location of these pitches to be effective in certain counts more than others.
2 balls, 2 strikes, leading off the top of the ninth. Clement 1 for 4. He chops it foul on the third base side.
Winkowski's another example. He's got a fastball that can get up to 95, 96 miles an hour, but you're seeing a lot of changeups, a lot of cutters, 89 to 91.
It's a delicate balance, Lenny, and I think both Bayo and Houck benefited last year from later in the year actually showing the four-seam fastball more. The 2-2 is swung on and missed. He got him with a good changeup. And there's one away. You have to show it to make the hitter fear it a little bit.
Exactly. It's like if you want to be successful inside, you have to show away. Same thing with a fastball and a breaking ball. If you want them to be off your breaking ball, you have to show them that you have heat either before it or on the other side of it.
You've always got heat on the other side of it, Lenny. One down. Here's
I wish.
Jimenez. Here comes Winkowski. Pitch to him is a strike on the outside corner. This guy can pick it, Jimenez. 3 straight Gold Gloves with the New York Mets and Cleveland Guardians at second base. Tremendous, tremendous player. Here's the 0-1. Kind of a gamer for the Blue Jays. That one misses high, and it's 1-1.
I mean, you can count on one hand how many fastballs Winkowski's thrown in this outing so far. A lot of changeups, a lot of cutters.
1-1 is low and outside. I'll never forget the play that this dude made in the championship series against the New York Yankees. It was one of the great defensive plays by a second baseman I'd ever seen in that remarkable game where the Guardians came back and hit the home runs to tie the game. From Noel, the 2-1, to Jimenez, down and in, 3-1 with a cutter.
To have a player as sure-handed as Jimenez year in and year out, it just makes the pitching staff that much more comfortable to be able to go out and pitch their game, pitch to contact, not trying to strike everybody out. It's the consistency that you're looking for.
3-1 from Winkowski. Here's the pitch, and it is lined into left field. It'll hang up for Duran. He reaches up, not shoulder high, to make the play. And the 2 are down. The attendance tonight, we just found out on the video board, 25,575. Brought to you by Crispy Crunchy Chicken. If you're craving some crunch, get fresh hand-breaded chicken tenders or a crispy chicken sandwich spiced just right here in the ballpark. Here's Miles Straw with 2 down, the pitch. Strike on the inside corner.
Do you think the mustache that Winkowski is sporting keeps him just a little bit warmer?
It really makes him look like he's ready for the Battle of Bull Run to me.
I've tried so many times to sport that.
It would take me a year to do that. The 0-1 pitch is chopped foul at his feet, and it's 0-2.
Usually when I have a beard for some time in the off-season, I'll shave everything but the mustache, and I won't say anything. I'll just walk into my living room like there's nothing to be seen here. Kids look at me like, who's this guy?
Who let the stalker in our living room?
My daughter's just like, ew. He can pull it off, though.
From the mouths of babes, the 0-2 pitch is high in the air down the right field line, drifting toward the seats and out of play. And it'll stay 0-2. I didn't know you did the off-season beard.
I try to. Yeah, it's all gray now, unfortunately. But
how long does it take? 2-3 days?
Oh, no. Couple weeks, I can get a decent beard. Yeah.
Just watch the spectacular play by Jimenez in that ALCS. Josh Naylor did an amazing job stretching to glove it, too. Here's a ground ball to second. Campbell throws just in time to get Straw. He laid back on that, did Campbell, but had enough in the cannon to make the play.
That's another thing they're going to talk to the rookie about. If it's a slow hop like that, you got to come and get it to cut down that runner.
Cameron Meisner gets into this one, a long drive deep to right. That baby's gone! Home run and the Rays win it 3-2. Cameron Meisner jumped on the first pitch, his first career home run. Meisner has ended this one in dramatic fashion. First pitch, bottom of the ninth, a walk-off home run. The pride of Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Cameron Meisner.
Goldschmidt swings at the first pitch and lofts it to left center field and deep. Track, wall, see ya! There's a leadoff hitter, 1-0 Yanks. Bellinger lost one deep to right center. There it goes into the bleachers. See ya! Back to back. That one's driven deep to left field. There it goes! See ya! Back to back to back. 3-0 Yankees.
Deep to left center field. That's way back there. Head of the wall. It is gone. Christian Campbell with his first major league home run. Absolutely destroys that one into the bullpen.
Farland Energy, up to $2,400 in safety bonuses every year. See McFarlandEnergy.com/careers.
We're right back to the Sox on the Shaws and Star Market WEEI Red Sox Radio Network.
Jacob Barnes is on for the Blue Jays, trying to get their last 3 outs. They lead 6-1 at Fenway, trying to win for the second straight night. It's been an odd couple of games after all the momentum coming out of the Cardinals' sweep. Offensive energy, great defense, but Red Sox have made some missteps in the first 2 of this series. Need a big time rally, and it'll have to start with Trevor Story here. The Blue Jays would launch themselves, not that it matters that much, but they'd be in first place in the American League East with a win tonight at 7-5. Sox 6-6 unless they have a miracle comeback here in the ninth. The pitch to Story is outside. Fastball, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, running out of room right here. You're looking for Story to get a good pitch to hit. Just get on base and let the offense kind of just trade places with him on the bags.
Well, Lenny, tomorrow I'm looking forward to something with you for the very first time as Story drives one high and foul down the right field line behind the tarp. Springer watches it get into the seats, and it's 1-1. And that is doing our first game not in a fishbowl. The window is going to be up tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to it too. Absolutely. What is the weather looking like tomorrow?
I think it's supposed to be in the 50s.
Oh, I'll take it.
At least the high 40s and dry.
That's going to be a blast.
You may have a little chaos in our booth. There might be a couple little rugrats between us for a couple innings tomorrow.
Perfect. More the merrier. Put a mic on them.
See if you can. You do not want to do that. Trust me. They'll do the whole game. 1-1 to Trevor Story. The pitch is ripped up the middle into center field. A base hit. Good way to start the ninth for Story. He's got his second knock, and the Red Sox have the leadoff man aboard.
It's a great piece of hitting right there. Just getting the barrel to the ball, not trying to swing for the fences, hitting it where it's pitched, going down to get it a little bit too.
Here comes Christian Campbell. I know you experienced this as a dad, Lenny, where mine are now at the age where they are so into it. They want to know what happened in games. They ask me who got the hits, who hit homers, whether we won. That's the first question I get every single morning. Here's Campbell. Story at first. The pitch is a little bit low. This morning, I woke up and told him we'd lost 6-1, and he said, well, was it a run that scored from third base, or did somebody hit a homer and get to put the Wally mask on?
It's I like the baseball IQ at such a young age, too.
They're sort of born into it. The 1-0 pitch misses outside, and it's 2-0.
My 10-year-old's like that. I mean, he physically gets upset when I say the Red Sox lose. He's like, dang it.
I know.
He's a New Englander now, right?
It's great. The truth of the matter is, one of the great things about this Netflix series that launched last night is it shows the sacrifices made by everyone's family. And it applies to the players, the clubhouse folks, the coaches, the manager, everybody involved. The 2-0 is on the ground foul outside of third, but it involves us too. And what's fun about that is that they go through so much during the season. So now they're starting to be at the age where, they know I'm gone. They hate that, but they can benefit from it, and so I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, with your job especially, you're not at home a lot during the baseball season. It's nice that you can bring them to the ballpark.
And I'm looking forward to showing them Christian Campbell, who lines one up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. So the Red Sox have 2 on with nobody out. Another great swing from Campbell.
Taking what's given to you station to station. This is what you need to develop a little bit of a rally right there. Get on base, keep trading places. It's the only way it's going to happen.
Yes, when he is dialed in, Campbell, that is so sweet. We heard about the moving parts in his swing, Lenny. It's different, but it's like all great hitters. The foot gets down and the barrel stays in the zone a long time.
At first, when I saw his swing, I felt like he was a little bit long. It's a big swing, and I'm thinking they're going to get inside against him eventually, I should say. But he's able to get the barrel to the ball.
Here's Romy, who takes a ball outside. I'm sure the Blue Jays are starting to think about getting leverage relievers up in their bullpen. The Red Sox unfortunately burned Abreu as a pinch hitter. Comes back in the 7th inning, so Blake Sabol is on deck. The 1-0 is a soft ground ball back to the mound. A second in time, caught there, throw to first, in-time double play. That was not a good throw by Barnes, but it got the job done, and the rally fizzles. 2 down with Story at third.
Worst possible scenario right there, getting a ground ball right into a tailor-made situation.
Sort of short-armed it, did Barnes, but got away with it, and here is Blake Sabol, his first Red Sox AB. 6-1 Blue Jays. Left-handed batter against Barnes. Strike on the inside corner. Sabol is 27 years old. He's played in 121 Major League games, a .243 hitter, 13 homers and 45 driven in. 0-1. The pitch is way outside. Stay tuned for the Nissan post-game show. You deserve a car that thrills you. Nissan's got an exciting full line. Aliso Viejo in California. This young man, Blake Sabol, 1-1. Here's the pitch, and it's low in the dirt. Cutter, and it's 2-1.
Looking at his scouting report, I found it interesting that he's projected as a better outfielder than a catcher.
I mean, he's sort of got that body type. He's big for a guy who's behind the dish, 6'4", 240.
He really is. You don't see that quite as often these days.
Almost like a Matt Wieters build, 2-1. Here's the set and the pitch, and Sabol swings and misses, fooled badly by a cutter in under his hands, and the Red Sox are down to their final strike. Throwing error by Bregman turned this whole game in the 6th inning. Crochet was good for 5, and then in the 6th gave up a home run to Springer, and the defense fell apart after that.
You know, he gave the team a chance to win. If you take away that one error, the Red Sox are in this game. They have a lot more opportunities to go out there and score runs.
2-2. Story at third with 2 down in the 9th. The pitch is low. Slider, and the count is full.
Crochet definitely didn't have his best stuff. You know, there's definitely a difference between his last outing where he went 8 innings.
You'd have to figure the element's a big part of that. 3-2 to Sabol. The pitch is strike 3 call right there. Ball game over. The Blue Jays have won 2 straight here at Fenway. 6-1. Toronto wins it. And the Red Sox look for better from Tanner Houck tomorrow. 6-1 the final Nissan postgame show next on the Shaw's at Star Market WEI Red Sox Radio Network.
At 110 Grill, you'll find modern American cuisine in a trendy, casual atmosphere. Visit one of 110 Grill's 34 locations all throughout New England, where you can enjoy favorites like pulled pork mac and cheese,